gentlemen, we just concluded WrestleMania Night 2.
Mm-hmm.
What a difference 23 hours and 84 years makes.
Yeah. That's a nice way of putting it. I don't know if you saw that somewhere, if you just came up with that on your own, but it's pretty fantastic because that's I want to just go in order, because if I hop around on this, I know I'm going to anyway, because I say that every fucking time, right? Like, but just to summarize how I'm feeling right now, because I'm absolutely bursting at the seams here. I said it like 5 times last night. I've seen every WrestleMania. Like, I'm old, not that I've watched them, but I've been alive for every WrestleMania. So have you. And there have been good ones. There have been great ones. There have been changing ones. And they kept talking about the change. And our biggest criticism last night was that it didn't feel like that at all. That it just didn't have the punch that they were promising. And tonight did not have that fucking problem. Tonight did not have that problem at all. I think we both said it, and I don't think, like, we're going to talk about everything, obviously, because that's what we fucking do. But I think we agree on one thing, and we both are classifying it as perfect.
I think we agree on one thing.
And
we both are
what? I can hear me.
Well, you're perfect. That's why.
Oh, okay, great. No, but I think we're both classifying it as perfect. You know, I think that's where we both sit on this, is that it couldn't have been better. There's nothing they could have done better tonight. But here's the thing. By the end of this conversation, we have to talk about WrestleMania as a whole. We can't just talk like, you know what I'm saying? So before we get all, last night still happened. We can't forget that last night happened just because tonight was perfect. But tonight was perfect.
And because last night happened, tonight was even more perfect.
I actually will agree with that as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it made tonight more perfect because last night was what it was. I struggle to think that they had any like purpose in that, like that there was any purpose in that to have last night feel kind of drudgy in order to get to tonight. And that's why, you know, I don't like to attribute things to that. I have to think that everybody that performed last night wanted to be at their absolute best the same way they were tonight. But like, and we'll get to this, but just to beleaguer that point before we move on to the recap section, Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes looked like completely different guys tonight than they looked last night. You know, Seth Rollins looked like a completely different guy than he did last night. So it makes me wonder a little bit. It makes me wonder.
Were they slowing down for The Rock?
Well, they were definitely slowing down for The Rock, dude. I mean, there's no argument. There is, and they were out of sync for The Rock. Their timing was completely out of sync because of The Rock. But I also wonder how much of it had to do with, you know, a very conscious decision to go into Sunday night as the night. Like, to have a night that feels like the night, like that feels like WrestleMania, whereas the Saturday show was almost like the warm up, you know, like
the Saturday felt like a SmackDown show,
and then Sunday was Mania, and there is a real thing that the way tonight was booked, it was a WrestleMania 10 years ago, a one night WrestleMania. Tonight was WrestleMania, like 100%. Last night was weird, and we talked about it. Like you said, it felt like a SmackDown show, like an elongated one, but you know, or like a Raw anniversary show, like, you know. But tonight felt like a WrestleMania from start to finish, and it felt like an amazing WrestleMania, an amazing, perfect top tier WrestleMania. So hats off. But
after last night, we discussed Man, I couldn't sit through that.
Yeah.
Tonight, they just sold 150,000 tickets for next year.
Oh, dude. Okay. And I brought this up sitting on the couch last night. You know, we're talking about you're like, would you really want to go 2 nights if you know that this is what you're getting? And yeah, there was a conversation to be had for it. But then you're like, hey, how would you feel if you only went last night and then like you were like, oh, this sucks, and then you sold your tickets and then you watch tonight on TV and you're like, like it'd be the regret of a lifetime.
It's the same regret when I went to WrestleMania 29 that I didn't go to Raw after WrestleMania.
Oh,
That was the Fandango Raw.
Oh.
The Dolph Ziggler cash-in Raw. Like,
yeah. Okay.
It's the same thing.
And on that note, since you mentioned the cash in, let's get to the fucking show.
All right. So before the show starts, 6:59, they play CM Punk's music, and CM Punk comes out for commentary. But
I'm mad about that. Not that CM Punk came out, but the assholes that took over for, you know, like everybody but Big E had left, right? Like it was Cole, Pat, CM Punk. They had all left, and the people running it and JBL. Oh my god, dude! Never put him on TV again.
It was.
Can we just
Taylor
not
Braxton?
Can we not
JBL.
put JBL on TV anymore, please? Like,
I've been saying it since the Blue Meanie incident.
Oh my god! He like, for all of the refreshing things about what tonight was, having JBL on TV was just like it felt like the bad touch, like the bad touch of the past. I don't need that at all ever again. But they kept talking over CM Punk's entrance, and when he stood up and did the "it's clobbering time," I was like, that may have been the loudest pop we'll hear all night. Now, that was based on last night, so I miss, definitely underestimated, because it wasn't the biggest pop of the night. It was a good pop, but there were huge pops tonight. But yeah, if you're gonna have CM Punk leave the desk to go do commentary, let's not talk over his entrance, because he's coming out as part of the match, right? He was coming out as part of the match. So yeah, whatever.
And little did we know, an integral part of the match.
Holy shit. Like, okay, so we wanted to jump right on tonight and just start recording instead of talking about anything off air, because, like, again, the emotions, the energy, everything's very high coming off of this. But I don't know if you want to go shot for shot on that. Like, dude, like they jerked the curtain with the championship match again, and all I could think was, Seth can't be healthy. Like, and but then when he comes down, first of all, the entrance, like when they finally said that it had something to do with like Philly culture and stuff, like they talked about how they're in the New Year's parade, and like they had to bring up Taylor fucking Swift. Dude, my one of my sons lost his mind. He's like, can you please stop pushing Taylor Swift into sports? Knock it off. But it made more sense, and then it was kind of cool, and I was like, okay, this is fun. Seth, but it was a bigger entrance than he put on last night, which that it's his match. That's awesome. And he didn't sell that he was hurt. Like he wasn't limping, he wasn't overselling it until Drew like drilled his knee into the fucking turnbuckle the first time, and then it was all downhill from there. But what a fucking match. Like, what a fucking match. Drew's entrance was pretty cool. I was disappointed he wasn't carrying like a fucking 8-foot long sword. Like, I wanted him to have a Highlander sword, like just a big 2-handed bastard sword. But they decided not to do that. But he still looked cool as fuck. The greaves that he had, like that looked like dragon leather. I want those. You got to buy me those for my birthday next year.
You cosplaying son of a gun.
Yeah, there you go. You know me so well.
So we had a short video to open the show. I was surprised there was no Rocky reference or anything like that. You know, with Philadelphia, Cody's story.
Yeah. I'm guessing that Sly didn't want to be part of it.
Yeah. And then we have The War and the Treaty singing God Bless America.
Mm-hmm.
After that, I was praying and hoping Aretha Franklin is back next year from WrestleMania 3. But then we got our first surprise of the night. WrestleMania cannot go on without a McMahon because Stephanie came out.
Oh, fuck, dude. See, why didn't you do that before you started talking about the match? I completely forgot that that happened, huh?
Yeah.
So that was all after CM Punk. So CM Punk was down there for a fucking while, just keeping his mouth shut.
Came out before WrestleMania started.
Right.
It was like the last minute. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
So Stephanie comes out, welcomes us to WrestleMania. She got a big pop. I don't know if that's going to happen next year, but it was you can't have it without a McMahon. So there it was.
I think the need for her to, I don't want to say stay clean, but to rub with her husband, to be able to move on. I think it actually is quite important to the company. I do. I'm not saying, because you can't, they can't leave Triple H in that spot if Stephanie can't be there. You know what I'm saying? Just by proxy, because
we go hand in hand.
Yeah. And I think one of the points that the talent definitely was on board making through this entire weekend, all of the talent. I mean, anyone that had a pulpit to speak from was preaching the beauty and love of Triple H and the greatness of Triple H. So, and again, I'm not disputing it. I'm just saying it got laid on pretty thick. It got laid on pretty thick. When has a title match closed at WrestleMania and the winner of the match, after being carried around on other talent's shoulders, calls out the guy that's running the show to thank him genuinely? So it was definitely a point that they were making, that they're on board with him. So, and I'm guessing Tony is too. So but you just, I don't know though. Yeah. I mean, once money becomes the story, okay, we need to calm down. We have a WrestleMania to talk about. Stephanie was great. That's all I have to say about Stephanie. I thought she was great. Whatever else is going on and whatever else comes from all of it, her coming out was fantastic. She got a great reaction, like you said, and she can still deliver, she can still deliver because her Are You Ready is pretty fucking phenomenal still.
She was.
And it's good to see, man. She can still perform. Good.
Yeah. Great for Steph. I wonder, I'm a Big Brother guy. Do you watch that show or no?
You already know the fucking answer to that, dude.
Well, I'm just thinking maybe Stephanie becomes Stephanie Levesque and just kind of stays away from the McMahon at some point.
Well, maybe that's why they keep saying Levesque.
It could be.
Maybe that's why they just keep repeating it, because it's when she goes from when she finally decides, I don't know, there's got to be a storyline to it, right? But when she finally just decides to take his name for the sake of saving face.
Yeah, it only took 25 years to do so. But
no shit, right?
But yeah, it was nice to see Steph. So then we had the bagpipes with Drew, which was awesome. Then he came out through the swords. I was actually kind of hoping that the Viking Raiders were going to be down at the end, just because that's how everybody looked. It would
Yeah.
have been a nice touch.
Oh my
But
god.
I guess they got stuck in catering.
Wah, wah.
Yeah, and then Seth and the I forget the name what they even said. I have question marks on it. So
I just paid attention to the part where they said the New Year's Eve parade or the New Year's Day parade or whatever.
Yeah, they each got 5-minute entrances, which were nice. They were kind of special entrances.
Mm-hmm.
We go to the bell at 7:22, and like we said last night, Claymore kicked 1, 2, 3, and then he kicked out.
Dude,
So,
I think it was only about 3 minutes after that happened, and I was still like, God, if they would have ended it that way, it would have been so fucking cool. I'm glad they didn't. But in the moment, I really was like, oh, like I was marking out hard. I was like, dude, I can't believe that like, but then, and it was a good tease. It was the best tease you could possibly have had. Yeah.
We got 10 minutes of just pure awesome. They hit every high impact maneuver back and forth.
Did each other's shit to each other.
Yeah. It had the Goldberg Brock Lesnar when they came back
the second time.
But actually good wrestling.
Yeah, I was gonna say like quality incompetent though. Yeah.
It was awesome. The finish comes at 10 minutes. Drew hit 4 claymores.
Oh no. Don't go to the finish yet. I want to talk about Seth's eye. Because he took a kick to the fucking face and his eye, dude. And you could even still see it like at the end of the night, he still had a big old hematoma on his eyelid. I was like, and you know, he got talked through it. He seemed to be okay. He went on, but man, that looked brutal. And you're right. They punished each other, like absolutely punished each other. And it took a lot. But you're calling the finish, and it was the right finish. Like it was a great finish. It was a fantastic finish, and everybody ate it up. Everybody loved it. Even though we're watching Seth drop, the crowd loved it. It was exactly what everybody like. They did it so well, and you have this moment where everyone's just like, "Oh my God, that was such a great opener." And you still had 15 minutes left of what's going to play out here.
Yeah.
And it was when the tone was set for the night immediately that we are going an extra effort. We everything is going to be over the top and amazing. And when Drew he's having a good time. And the moment that fucking got me, and I wrote this down because you could see it if you lip read, you know, when Seth fucking looked at him, you know, when he's leaving the ring and he says, "You fucking deserve this, man." Like he said that, like, and I thought looked at it as genuine because Drew's story is actually fantastic. And you want to talk about somebody that wants the McMahon thing to move away. Drew is at the top of that fucking list. And Punk being Punk, you know, a couple weeks ago on Raw had to bring it up, like called him out on the Chosen One thing, which, you know, Drew can't say anymore. Just you can't because someone like Punk's gonna be like, "Oh yeah, who chose you?" But
that's what made Punk perfect for the commentary on
100%.
Because 100%. He added credibility.
Yeah,
he called them out on bullshit.
Yep,
he was perfect.
Perfect, absolutely perfect, as he always is, right? But Drew had an emotional like win, and like the crowd's chanting, "You deserve it." And there's
he
this
got his moment in front of the crowd finally.
Great moment. And then he fucks it up for himself like that. And he played it perfect. Like tonight I'm going to talk about some of the acting because some of it was so fucking high level. And Drew's got the perfect camera shot. He, you know, great moment. And he does the boom right on CM Punk. And I'm like, uh-oh. And you knew it was probably going to happen, but with Punk, and we talked about this last night, I wasn't sure what his level of involvement would be. I figured there'd be a moment, maybe it'd be a distraction, maybe Drew would lose because of it, you know, or Seth. I wasn't convinced which one of them would lose. Like, didn't really matter. They could both go for CM Punk next, right? Like, logically. So and then it turns into Drew messing with himself. I want to know what he was saying to him. And when Punk's just sitting there and he's like, I hope you know I have no idea what you're saying right now. I want to know what Drew,
on.
yeah. And Drew said a lot of shit. And it's like, you know, a lot of people have been shooting. Like, there's a lot more shooting going on. So I wanted to hear what it was. You couldn't pick it up on the mic really. And Punk said he couldn't fucking hear it. But then it turned into some insult. Then it turned, and it's like, oh, they're going to go at it, right? Like, Punk drops him. And everything happens.
Drew did the suck it right in his face.
He did.
He's standing on the announce table.
Yeah. He kind of earned it, right? He kind of deserved it. And that's the thing. Like, he didn't need to fuck with Punk right there. Like, that is
right.
a 100% his fault. And I love that because he's not a good guy and he's over with the crowd, but he's not supposed to be a good guy. Right. So it was good that his arrogance got the better of him. And then you can go on with what happens next because
so Drew does the suck it. Punk stands up, hits him, takes his elbow guard off, and everybody's like, "Holy shit!"
Yeah,
I was. Blasts him, and then the music hits.
The crowd,
bisexual Undertaker comes running out.
Dude, the crowd was electric. The crowd was electric, like absolutely electric. And I mean, does anybody really care that Damian, like, it's not because it's Damian Priest. It's just because that's good, exciting booking. You just had this beautiful moment where you're really rooting for a guy who's like genuinely happy. And then he just goes and fucks it up. And it's, oh my God. And Damian runs down there. And the first thing he does when he took the case and just wham, and it went fucking flying off of, oh, dude.
And before that case hit the ground, Samantha Irvin is already like,
yep.
Damian Priest is cashing in. It was the fastest cash in of all time.
Yeah, usually they do the whole fucking pause
yeah,
thing.
Ring the bell.
Yeah. No, just went for it.
Went for it, cashed in, won the title.
Yeah.
And
then Drew's just, yeah, he did. He fucking took off. And actually I was like, okay, so Judgment Day didn't come off looking very good last night. Like they just didn't, but Rhea wins. And now they have 2 fucking belts and they have 2 top belts.
Championship belts, yeah.
Like, so clearly Judgment Day is not going anywhere. Judgment Day is not going anywhere.
And then you also have they got to the end of the ramp. They all came out, celebrated with Damian, and Drew's just sitting there holding his pud in the middle of the ring.
It's like, what the fuck just happened?
And that all took place in 45 seconds.
But can I just say the best, absolute best, like CM Punk sitting on the announce table with his legs crossed, just like, good job, you dumbass. That's what you get. Like, dude, so perfect. And it plays into Punk as a character so well. And Drew's the fool again. You know, it's beautiful.
And the thing is you can open Raw tomorrow with Drew in a microphone saying, "Priest, get your damn ass out here. Give me my belt back."
Yep.
And go from there. You can, Drew can say, "Punk, this is on you. Get out here. I'm going to beat your ass."
Yeah.
They have so many angles to go. But the thing that crossed my mind when they hit that title, or when they hit Priest music and he came running out, is thank God they didn't fuck Cody. Because, like, that's what everybody was thinking. Maybe Cody wins and they pull the Daniel Bryan.
I don't. That would have been, dude, that would have killed. Oh my God, it would have killed so much.
that was the first thing that came into my mind, though.
And fucking over Drew doesn't piss anybody off. Like people
Right.
love to see Drew get fucked over. People, I mean, it's kind of fun, and he handles it really well. And he goes out there and performs. Like that dude is. Drew McIntyre is, yes, he is a top guy. Period. End of sentence. You can count on him, dude. But like, it's kind of fun to see him lose. And like, some guys just have that ability. Like the Miz. I love watching the Miz lose. Watching the Miz lose.
So this whole segment, I gave it a 4.88. It was awesome.
Yeah.
We didn't text all night last night, and we're both like, this is the fucking greatest. It's going.
But I felt like I was so scared because last night, like, and we talked about this so much last night, after 2 matches last night, I thought it was fucking fantastic. And then, but so I was holding it in, dude. I was holding it in. Punk. Okay. So just a few notes from this now that we're done with it. Right. Just so excellent, like just excellent booking. It was booked amazingly, like from start to finish. It was booked so well. It wasn't overbooked or stupid. It didn't, Punk wasn't getting into the ring, or he never even left the announce table. Okay. like except for when he hits him with his brace, but at that point Drew had already earned it. Like but like it was just it was on point.
It came out more of Punk being on the self-defense than agitating. So he maintains his maybe face.
Yep, maybe face. Yeah. He had I love that Drew ruined it for himself. Like I actually again, on the same note that Punk wasn't starting shit, like, and it was a total banger. Punk is still so like he's so hot. Like these pre-shows, the CM Punk chants just never stop. And Punk even said it to Drew, and I think that's when it changed, like the attitude changed. When he yelled up at him, he's like, I've never seen anyone win a title match and then the crowd starts cheering somebody else's name. First of all, that's a fucking burn. That is a burn.
I guarantee he wasn't supposed to say that. He just that's the kind of thing Punk does.
Yeah. Drew had just won the title, but the whole fucking 72,000 people are chanting CM Punk. Like that is amazing. And I think those two can put together some absolute classics, to be honest.
And the important thing to see is they don't need the belt to do it.
No,
they can just go out and 100%. Do it. So build a star somewhere else. Let these two guys cook.
100%.
Go.
Yeah, and to be honest, it puts I think it'll put Drew back in the picture too. Like it'll you're gonna let the belt kind of grow out. You're gonna do some shit with Damian Priest. Maybe, like you said, tomorrow night they could fucking open the show with McIntyre walking straight down there, being like, but they're not going to. They're gonna open with Cody, right? Like that. Tomorrow night they're gonna open with Cody. It's gonna be a celebration show, which aren't always the best ones.
Spoiler.
Oh, sorry. My bad.
It's okay.
On to the next one.
We had a very short commercial break compared to last night.
Yeah.
4 minutes later, Snoop Dogg comes out. Who knew? Snoop Dogg comes out and announces Bubba Ray Dudley as the guest referee.
Didn't see that one coming. Had no idea that was going to happen. None whatsoever.
So already you are just wow. What is happening? Like I didn't even know this was a street fight. I just thought this was
Yeah. The gin and juice thing, I'm sorry, like what are we doing here? Like they bring out Snoop Dogg. First of all, like you said, who saw that coming? Nobody. And they bring him out another time tonight too. Crazy. Yeah. Love it. Snoop Dogg looks like he's 100 years old. And by the end of the fucking segment, when they're kind of having to walk him around, and I was like, oh my God, it's fucking Snoop Biden up in here. Like he's just, like he had no idea where he was going.
High as a kite.
Oh, probably. Yeah, absolutely. I'm sure the lights were fucking with his eyes, but no, it was like he comes out and does announcing, and I'm going to just say it now. He was fantastic. He said some funny shit. He got some really good moments. And he outed Pat McAfee on live TV, but I don't think McAfee really fucking cares. McAfee's pretty open about his habits and the things he likes. So, but when Snoop said, I can't do the things I do up here, blah, blah, blah. And McAfee's like, well, it's like, oh my God. Like, how many milligrams of fucking edibles does McAfee have in his system right now, dude?
John Calipari is leaving Kentucky for Arkansas. How about that? You saw that one coming.
Yeah.
I know you don't care.
No, I don't, but Kentucky didn't exactly. I mean, he didn't end the season very well.
No. So Bubba Ray Dudley comes out of nowhere as a guest referee. So that kind of questions his whole podcast that he's on.
Yeah.
Criticizing.
Yeah. Just shooting all the time. Dude, the thing about Bubba, and it came out of nowhere, right? I have him down as Bully, by the way, but we can call him Bubba. My son, I'm going to say a couple times things that they say tonight because I'm enjoying that for me on my end here. But my boy's just like, I'm pretty sure Bubba was just sitting in the back and had put on a referee shirt, just sitting there chilling. And one of the guys was like, get out there. You got to go ref. And he was like, okay. Like there was no, like it wasn't planned anyway. And he just thought he looked good in a referee shirt. So he went out to cosplay as a ref. In the end, what he did was he basically gave license to the Street Profits to just go full, Dudley Boys. And I thought that was fantastic. I loved every minute of that. That's the thing. I went into that match thinking it was just going to be like, why are we doing this? Like, this is going to be like last night where things are going to drop off because nobody's going to be into it. And instead, it was so much fun. It was so much fun. And the spots were great. And the Street Profits are probably underused. Like in their tag, they need to split. They need to split. Montez, right? He's the tall one. Yeah, dude.
Yeah, the skinny one that flies.
He can be a fucking star. Like he's got it. And I think they got to show that a bit tonight. Bobby Lashley is probably ready to go. He can take Naomi, and the two of them can just retire out the back door. Just get out. You're done.
Naomi's with the USA.
No, I don't mean like, I just mean retiree wise. Cause last night I was like, she probably needs to just Bobby. I mean, Bobby looks great, but Bobby's always going to look great. He just has that, but he does nothing in the ring.
I have a crazy thought about this whole match.
Okay, cool.
I'll let that play out.
Okay.
The Final Testament comes out for their entrance. I don't know if you caught this, but they zoomed right in on Scarlett, and she looks over to Killer Cross, or Karrion Kross as he is now.
Yeah.
And she's like, baby, be careful. I love you. And I was just like, what the fuck is going on here? So then Akam and Razor are just standing there like big oafs.
Pretty much.
Ellering, I don't even know why he was there.
Because he's with Akam and Razor. Like that's just his gig. That's just his gig.
So then, we had the Street Profits. They got about a 15-second entrance. And Bobby, they come out. This was like a 10-minute match. They used all the gimmicks. They started beating the fuck out of each other with the canes.
Yes, they did.
It kind of, like, I'll go here now since we're into the match. It kind of looked like whoever put this match together was just like, hey guys, whoever loses this is real. Whoever loses this is fired. So just go after each other. Is the way that I took it, because they were laying shit in.
Yeah. Yeah, dude, I noticed that too. Like it was there's receipts from that one for sure. Yeah. And I mean, who knows? And I mean, they could have called it on the fly. Like, it happens, and that'd be so interesting. Oh my
Yeah,
God.
it was
Because it did have that feel. Like, and
it-
up until the point that the table spot like failed. And that was the one moment where I was like, thank God fucking Bully is in there with them, because he was like, they didn't know what to do. And they start like they're going to pick him up. And he's just like, go get another table. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, I didn't think to do that. And Montez jumped. He was on the top rope. He jumped. He was the first one out of the ring to get another table. Like, he got it. He knew they just had to set the spot up again, because that's, and it was, by the way, it was Bobby's fault. You could clearly see that he didn't pull the legs out all the way, and you could see him wobble. And I was like, damn it. And he almost did it the second time, and he thought to grab it, but they kicked the shit out of each other. And again, and I thought there was going to be more of that last night. We're talking about the first night versus the second night with this. If this had gone last night, I don't like it, just wouldn't, like, for some reason, everything that came off real soft last night, the only match that came off hard was Sammy and Gunter. Everything did tonight. Everybody did tonight. And that's WrestleMania. That's what you expect from WrestleMania. So it was, I loved it. I'm not going to say it was a 5-star match, but
no.
It
for what it was.
Yeah. And for WrestleMania, good
it
stuff.
It was a garbage match. And then they had the comedy spot where Cross backed Bully Ray into the corner, and he pulls out the glasses and instantly becomes a Dudley. And then the Street Profits do the what's up.
Get the table.
It was so much fun.
It was great.
For a garbage match, if you're going to do a garbage match, this is exactly how you do a garbage match.
Fun. Just fun. And like
real.
And having, exactly. So, like, even though you might not think there's stakes, if those guys have stakes, like, it could have been like, not you're fired. It could have been like, you're going to get the next chance. Like, I want to see, and I'm not going to tell you who's going over, who's doing the spot. I'm not going to tell you until this point, whatever, blah, blah, blah. But once Bully pulled out the glasses, the faces were going over. So then it's like, well, maybe. Anyway, what I want to, like, they had fun, and bringing out Snoop Dogg suddenly made it just that much more fun, because his commentary, like when Scarlett got hit with the trash can and Snoop Dogg's just like, oh, that was trash. I'm like, perfect. Like, perfect. Oh, that was trash.
I thought they were going to do an ECW style cat fight with
Yeah.
her and B-Fab.
Because they came out in full gear.
Yeah. And they both ran at each other, and then they went out through the table and just laid there for the rest. But
yeah, but that's okay. They actually took a big bump. Like, it was a big bump.
And we got to cue up the cameraman here for getting right in Scarlett's intestines with the shoot when she bent into the ropes. So that was really cool.
I'm sure that's all over the internet.
Oh, it has to be. My goodness. But you can see, like, last night, maybe they booked it kind of like, okay, this is the McMahon era, and now tonight is the Triple H era.
It felt like that. Like,
two different shows.
I'm telling you, as the show went on, it felt so much more like that. It really did. It was almost like they were giving you kind of a feel of, the contrast, and then when you take into account The Rock and everything, like all that went on, like it feels like a stark contrast. And then by the end of the show, again, never mind, we'll get there, but I have a quote for it that came out of my son's mouth that I think is absolutely encapsulates the entire show, like how they ended it, how they went from last night to tonight. And it has it's a message, and it's a very clear message, and it's fantastic. But yes, where were you?
I was about to get to the finish. Montez Ford hits the huge splash on Karrion Kross, who just got hit by about 45 cane shots, and through the table, huge splash.
They didn't lay off the canes. They went for it.
No, and this was about 9 minutes of just sheer and utter, just awesome.
Shit kicking.
I gave it a 3.65
Okay.
because it's a garbage match, but you brought that garbage way up.
Oh, absolutely. Entertainment, right?
Yeah.
Like if you're gonna have a filler match on WrestleMania and you know you're the filler match, I mean, there's no they all know, but like you go out and you make it entertaining, you give everything. Just great job to them. Honestly, great job.
I mean, all weekend we've seen garbage matches. I saw Nick Gage with the doll with the pizza cutter, and then I sent you the naked man holding his peen with the stunner on cheeseburger.
I don't know how there's wrestling going on like that. Like,
yeah, this was it. If you want a garbage match, this is the wrestling.
100%. You did fantastic job. I have a note here after this match ends, right? That for a Brandy drop. So maybe you can tell me what happened here that Brandy's name got dropped, because it was like maybe the second time that somebody said Brandy, and I was like, oh, they're bringing up Brandy quite a bit tonight. And
they showed her outside of the van.
Okay.
The pre-show.
Yeah, right. But I have written down here in between this match before the commercial spots, Brandy dropped. So maybe there was a cut to something, or somebody said something in like a promo or whatever it was that was in between the commercial break here that I don't have written down. Brandy got dropped again, and I was like, oh, I wonder if we're going to see Brandy later tonight, because yeah.
Everybody needs a little brand in there.
Oh. She's something though, dude. She's a heat magnet, and we've said it before. She's a heat magnet.
Not tonight. She
she could have been real quick.
Oh man, if what I sent you would have gone and happened, it would have been the greatest ever.
Yeah.
So again, we have a really short break tonight, 8 minutes, 9 minutes, and then just cold LA Knight's music hits, and he comes walking out. AJ's music.
No. Hold on. You're not getting by without talking about the Slim Jim commercial. I mean, like the Slim Jim. The Slim Jim buy-in, like they show him pulling up in the car early on, and then he does this whole thing with Slim Jim, and they got all the people in the crowd all have Slim Jims. Best thing, they got the one guy, they're walking by with the camera, and there's a dude just fucking deep throat a fucking Slim Jim, and the camera guy like pauses, and then he's like, oh fuck. The kid's just fucking Slim Jim. I'm like, and then he gave away that car, I guess, to some woman.
I think that was Bailey's mom.
Really?
I think somebody said
it was a weird thing, a weird commercial.
He was like, here, this is your car now.
Yeah. It's where I really have to question how many live commercials do we need in a WrestleMania, because you're already giving us commercials, but you have a Prime bottle in the middle of the ring, you have the Prime station, and then a Prime truck
too.
Yeah,
I mean, and the bottom.
But then you have an entire match, which we're going to get to here in a little bit, where you just have your walking commercial for ownership of Prime, and it's like, do we really need the live on-air commercials? Because the Slim Jim thing was disgusting, and I'm really glad that the dude was just doing it, because it really summed up how the whole thing felt. Like, it felt like a blowy, like Slim Jim's getting just, and somebody decided to make it happen. Just show it. I
wonder if that was the new cream-filled Slim Jim that he was going with.
It wasn't swelling up, so he clearly wasn't doing good enough.
If you want to see this dude, just type in Slim Jim Throatin on Twitter, and it's there.
Oh my god! I bet, dude. Just well done, sir.
You catch a check from Slim Jim on that one.
But yeah, back to the entrances. AJ, AJ looks good. AJ's yoked up.
Oh, he's got to be on the gas.
Oh, 100%.
Huge.
He looks huge.
Punk looks huge too. If we're going there too.
We're not going there yet. Let's wait until he heals up from this injury and we see, because when you're in rehab and you're, there are differences between like straight up gear and some of the things people do for rehab and stuff like that that still tests and everything else. So slippery slope conversation, but AJ looks
huge.
AJ looks huge, and it was worth commenting on because AJ doesn't, AJ's not a big guy. AJ is rather small.
So another thing that I have about the Slim Jim keys.
Yeah.
I wrote it down. I just saw it, and then I realized what I wrote. So LA Knight gives the keys to this older lady. She's got to be 60, 65.
Yeah.
And Michael Cole comments, I hope she really puts that hammer down in the new Slim Jim car. She's like, what? That's what my note was.
She didn't look like she had any fucking clue what was going on either. He's really like trying to grab it and like do a thing, and it was so awkward. And then around them, everyone's wearing the Slim Jim shirts and like banging each other with fucking sausages, and it's like, dude, can we stop? Like, and the match isn't supposed to be funny, and the promo spot feels way off because these two guys are both in it as like, I mean, obviously LA Knight is over with the crowd, but I definitely wouldn't call him a face. Like, he's just kind of a cocky
wannabe Rock right now,
one-liner guy who can't cut a promo to save his fucking life. Whatever.
So this match was built up with personal issue.
Yes.
They showed a video of LA Knight. I think it was on the pre-show maybe. The LA Knight goes to his house, honks a horn, and they're fighting in the yard, and the police come, and blah blah blah. And then the WWE World clip that I think it was Friday morning. It hit. I sent it to you.
Yeah.
Their fight. AJ has a bloody nose, and LA Knight says, "Are you gonna come to SmackDown tonight, or are you a big pussy?" And then AJ's like, fuck you.
Yeah. AJ cursing is just too far for me. We need to hit the brakes on this new era bullshit. I can't have AJ Styles swearing, okay? Like, that's just not going to work for me.
So with this new era, I mean, we might be getting some wild shit. You had the guy deep throating the Slim Jim.
Dude, I'm not. The signs. Can we, like, I was going to wait until further into this to talk about it, but we may as well talk about it now. They're clearly allowing this, like, I'm so interested to see how this goes when you start going into smaller buildings again, when you get back on tour and you're just doing the normal thing. If they're just letting signs in, because some of the signs were clever and fucking, there was some, oh dude, Hitchbot was a Cowboys fan. And I didn't know the Hitchbot story. So my boys told me the Hitchbot story. And it was like this thing where they did this bot and it went all the way across Canada, right? Like, it toured Canada, like, and when it came down into the United States to go across the country, like in the United States, it got to Philadelphia, and like whoever saw it in the street or whatever it was doing just fucking murdered it. Like, in Philadelphia, that's all it made it through the United States was Philadelphia. So some guy's holding up a fucking sign that says Hitchbot was a Cowboys fan. And I'm like, well, they just made that meme make sense. Like, and there were good moments like that. There were really, really cool signs. Some of them were just fucking absolutely wild. And I'm very interested to see how far they let that shit like keep going, because that was a very prominent Attitude Era, ruthless aggression thing when DX was at its height, when The Rock was at his height. Like, that's what it was about. People brought crazy signs to the shows, and then Vince got rid of it and made it so nobody could, because you couldn't say anything on signs. Like, you just got the ones that they handed you when you walked in.
Did you ever go to a live show like during that era?
Oh yeah.
So like, I remember going to a Raw in Cleveland, and like every commercial break, everybody's just like, show your tits to this lady, and like she would, and then there'd be another lady.
Oh dude, it was different. I told you, I think I told you, I went to a Monday Nitro at the United Center, and I mean, it was dude, we were up on the 300 level. Like we were like almost, because at the United Center, if you're at the top, like you can touch the fucking ceiling, right?
The roof, yeah.
Yeah, and I was right there. Like that's how. But we kind of got down to the edge of the 300 section because they weren't completely full up there, but there were people standing back there too, like back at the top because you can stand up there. Dude, it was packed at United Center, and by the end of that show, 300 level, every single fucking person that had a beer cup in their hand walked right up to the edge of the section and just fucking chucked it down at the 100 section. The whole fucking stadium. And it's like people, the ring was full of cups. It was like by the end of that place was destroyed, and it was insanity. I don't think it's going to get to that point. I don't think they're ever going to allow shit like that back into wrestling, but the signs are a step. I got like the signs are a step. And if the crowd can be intelligent and do things like the Hitchbot was a Cowboys fan. I mean, that's something not everybody's going to get, but it's clever and it's going to make some people at home laugh. One of the signs that I remarked on that I thought was the best one of the night was that Roman eats corn the long way. Fantastic sign. Roman eats corn the long way. Like,
yeah,
boom.
There was some weird stuff out there. And then like you have people swearing and they hit the button on that. And then
they stopped.
And then McAfee swears on commentary.
He kept swearing.
Yeah,
he kept saying shit like nonstop.
Yeah.
And then The Rock. Oh, we'll get there. Never mind.
Yeah. Okay. So AJ and LA Knight, they have a 12-minute match. I was really hyped for this match based off of that personal conflict.
Yeah.
I don't think it lived up.
Well, it's a singles match with really no stakes. Right.
Yeah.
But I'm going to say this because I wrote this down and you can tell me what you think about this. Okay. I want to hear, because for me, it was like the one match that had nothing else going for it. No stipulations, no nothing. It's just two guys going at it. So from my perspective, obviously I'm going, well, this is just a chance for AJ to put LA Knight over. Like this is what they're going for. They're going for another star that just won some Slammies, and AJ can be the guy. And that's fine. AJ's in that position in his career. We're going to get to it here soon, but Randy, classiest, love Randy Orton more than ever. Right now, I love Randy Orton more than ever. But AJ came out and he played the psych game, and I thought that was the thing that this match had, like that it needed in order to matter at all. And I thought they did it pretty well. There was some good psychology there where AJ just kept slowing the match down, wearing him down. He took his time, Yeah, absolutely. And just ground it down and just played the I'm the veteran. You're gonna this match is gonna go the way I fucking want it. Period. And it did. And it did. And the finish was okay. Whatever. He was going over. I don't think anybody thought AJ was gonna win that match. It would have been an absolute pointless match. And LA Knight gets a moment. That's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you can see where he can build and go up.
Yeah.
It was about a 12-minute match. Every time AJ went for the phenomenal forearm, something happened. It was countered, but
I thought he was going to get a Styles Clash in there for a minute.
It was the worst match of tonight, but still would have been up near the top of last night.
I think so. Yeah.
I think that's a fair assumption. But like you said, there's no titles at stake. It was just kind of get a upper mid Carter back in. Like, this is a guy you could put into an elimination chamber or a Survivor Series match as a baby face. He's up. He's not going to win, but he's there. He's on the cusp, and we're going to see where we can build him.
Yeah, and so maybe the next opportunity that and like we got to be honest about some of this stuff too. Like these veterans, these guys that work the ring really well, and working with guys that are relatively. And I know he's not young. Like LA Knight's not young, but he's fresh, right? Like to WWE, and I mean, I'm sure AJ's going to have some pull as to what, like, he's going to give some input that's going to determine, what comes next for LA Knight too, because, that's just the way it goes. And they've worked together for a while, and it's time for LA Knight to move on to his next thing. It'll be interesting to see what it is. I'm not going to make any predictions, but he's over, and we'll see if he can put up or shut up with somebody a little bit tougher. I'd like to see him get Gunther, to be honest. But
that might make some sense. Maybe a Gunther or maybe a Owens.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody like
that. KO's
Just-
got to find something to do next, right?
Yeah,
we'll get there.
Get there, but yeah, it makes sense. Like I thought it was just going to be a drag out war because of the issue, but it was okay. Let's see if you can work the WWE style kind of match. We're gonna slow it down. We're gonna work body parts, and then you're gonna go over.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah. And it wasn't super spot monkey. Like there was no gimmick. He just made him work. And honestly, like for that moment in the show too, it was kind of nice. It was kind of nice to get a little bit of a breather from everything and watch. First of all, watching AJ Styles work, I think, is always just a treat because there are very few guys that work the way AJ works, and everything seems to be perfect just all the time. And he rarely wastes motion, and it was just nice to watch. So AJ having a match at WrestleMania, putting somebody over, another good match.
He's a guy that he's a night off when you get in the ring with him. He's so smooth. He's so crisp. He's more of a Randy Orton type,
100%,
where you can tell they don't have a bad match.
He can make anybody look good. He can make anybody look like $1 million,
Yeah. And at this point, let's be honest, I think LA Knight needs that. So
he does.
Yeah. Coming off of the Bray feud, I don't really. He's been up there, but kind of falters. So I think this is good for LA.
Yeah, we'll see. I think he's 6 months away from losing his job, but that's just me.
It's possible, or it's possible that there's a spark now. And
maybe
catches something.
Again, we'll see what happens. Monday and Friday, and where he comes out, because everything. The guys that are coming out of feuds right now, where the feuds are going to end rather than like move forward going to SummerSlam, like the guys that need new feuds over the next week or two, you're going to get them. So,
yeah. So after that, LA gets his win. There wasn't really a big applause or anything. It was just kind of,
yeah.
I gave it a 3.38, just basic.
Yeah.
Good match.
Yep.
Then we go to break, and very quick break, even quicker, I think 5-6 minutes, and it was time for the Hall of Fame. So they introduced the U.S. Express. Thunderbolt Patterson was out there in a wheelchair with Briscoe behind him. Bull Nakano out there with her little nunchucks, which was cute. Leah Maivia was out there. It was Rock's mom, Ata Johnson. And then Muhammad Ali, there was nobody there for. And then it happened. The ECW music hits, and Paul comes out. It was a nice moment. Perfect Hall of Fame main eventer for Philadelphia. And it was special to Paul. You could tell. Like, he wasn't his cocky self. He was humbled. At the U.S. Express, they had tears in their eyes with Bray Wyatt shirts on.
Yeah.
Which is obvious. Thunderbolt didn't really care to be there.
Clearly.
Nakano got her flowers, which was nice.
Yeah.
Very integral part in women's wrestling in WWE. And then The Rock's mom, you know why she's there.
Yeah.
So. But not the best class, not the worst class. We move on.
Yeah. So this is the moment where my 12-year-old absolutely marked out for the first time. So basically for the last 2 nights, it's been almost forced family fun to have my 12-year-old hanging out with us watching. He's just not the biggest fan of stuff like this. But this is when my 12-year-old marked out. The Prime bottle, the fucking Prime bottle made my 12-year-old mark, like stand up out of his chair and be like, the Prime bottle. Now, it's not because he's a weirdo with that stuff. It's just last year when they did it, it became such a meme in my house that he would talk about that match being like the best match in WrestleMania history, and he just wouldn't shut up about it. So like last night when we were watching, he's like, when's the Prime bottle coming out? Oh my God, I can't wait for the Prime bottle. Oh, this is going to happen in the Prime bottle. And it was just like, shut up. Like we were just like, because he's poking at us, right? So tonight when the Prime bottle came out, he lost his shit. And I was just like, oh my God, dude. Like they're arguing over whether or not it's going to be KSI again. And I'm like, what are we like? What? As I'm sitting here wearing a fucking PewDiePie shirt, acting like I don't know who KSI is. Okay, but I didn't know who it was. Like, to be honest, I had no idea who that guy was.
I've seen him before.
Okay,
we'll love him.
We'll get to that because we're gonna keep doing the matches in order. But I just wanted to say, or like time-wise order. But yeah, my son absolutely marked out for the Prime bottle. Also, I'm gonna say this before you say it happened, but the flip-flop with Sammy being in Gorilla waiting for KO tonight, it gave me fucking goosebumps. It absolutely gave me goosebumps. And I said out loud, I was like, I want Kevin Owens to win this match so much more than I've ever wanted I just wanted it. I wanted that moment where both of them got their belts. And this match, this is the match that had me the most like out of breath from just sheer like enjoyment. And I'm going to be ready to talk about this one for a long time because there are just so many great, and there are so many intricate things about the business and about where these three are in their careers right now that made a difference in this match. And oh my God, just so it's peak WrestleMania, just peak WrestleMania, this match right here. And Kevin Owens' best KO Mania shirt to date, in my opinion.
Yes.
It is. And I love the KO Mania shirts, dude. I love them. But this one's the best one. So, okay, you can do the events now. Let's hear what happened. Hey, Mike, what happened?
Logan Paul came out on a Prime truck.
Yeah.
He didn't pop for that?
Oh, my God.
With the Prime cannon?
The Prime cannon, I was hoping he was gonna. Somebody in my house said, "Oh, it's the milk truck."
I thought it was a hose, and they were going to spray people. Prime.
See,
have you ever drank Prime?
No, fuck no.
It sucks.
I mean, it's fucking modified, fucking man-made. Oh, I'm drinking Powerade. I shouldn't fucking talk. It's no fucking different.
But it doesn't taste.
It doesn't taste good. Yeah, whatever. I don't care.
So he comes out with the Prime truck and shoots the Prime cannon, which were charges on top of the WrestleMania sign to go off.
Kind of a waste of a moment there, in my opinion.
Yeah. He still has shitty music for being a superstar.
Yep.
It's really bad.
Yep.
Then we get the Owens entering Gorilla with Sammy waiting there, saying, "Go get him, kid." And then right after that,
it's your turn.
Owens walks back to the back, and they're like, "What is he doing?" And he comes out on a golf cart and goes about 10 feet.
He had fucking duct taped the KO on the front of it,
just like his original shirt.
Yep, exactly. Yeah. It was perfect.
So he gets this golf cart and he goes about 10 feet, and then Orton's music hits, and he's like, "Hey, Randy, come on, jump on." And he jumped on the golf cart. We're going down.
Dude, can I just say their little buddy comedy that they did for like the first maybe 10, 15 minutes of this match? Yeah. Absolute fucking gold. absolute gold. Those are two guys that I would love to see make a run for a tag title. Holy shit. Like, book that.
It seemed like it was going to happen there for a minute.
Well, no, I mean, in the end, you know who Randy Orton is, and KO is, you know, I mean, they were gonna fuck each other up. It was just very their timing with each other, and kind of the ridiculousness of Orton playing along with Kevin Owens being like top tier goofy Kevin Owens instead of serious angry Kevin Owens. He was like goofball Owens, which is the one we all fucking love because he still went out and beat ass.
And he had the ECW tribute shorts on.
Yeah.
Which was cool. So they start out. This match was 18 minutes. They start out, and it's just KO and Orton just beating on Logan Paul. Because Logan Paul jumped out of the ring and pointed at you two fight.
Yeah. They were
which was a nice heat spot.
Fuck that. It was great. They turned on him and it was fantastic, but it set up a cool turn. And I love the way they played it off. Cause I was sitting there thinking, okay, the longer they're friendly with each other, the funnier it's going to be, like, or the more impactful it's going to be when Randy finally turns on him, because he's the Viper, man. Like that's who he is. Like he was always gonna, but the way they ended up doing it, the two of them, it was so much better than just Randy being a dick and turning his back on him. Like they finally just got to this moment where they're like, okay, we got to do this, right? You want to do this? Like KO's like, you want to do this now? Randy's like, yeah, let's just do it now. And then they start fucking going off on each other. And, you know, Logan's just sitting there dead, which was fantastic.
And it seemed like they both are like kind of, you know, let's enjoy WrestleMania. Let's have fun.
Yeah. Yeah, it really felt like that, dude.
Yeah, it was fun.
They had a good time, and they looked fucking. Dude, I haven't seen Randy Orton look that good in a match. I don't even remember. Like honestly, like
did you see his titty flex?
Yeah,
when he flexed his titties.
Yeah, it was great, dude. Everything he did tonight made me. And again, I love him. And I've had a love-hate relationship with my fandom of Randy. He's been around so fucking long. And there was a long stretch where Randy Orton felt like he was coasting. Like he didn't care to be in the building. You could book him for 5 minutes or 15 minutes and he was just going to go through the motions and give you nothing. And it was sad. And like he recovered from it. I mean, we can all be honest. He came back but now he's like in this phase of his career where instead of going out like ugly or feeling like he has to be in the title, you know, like Batista, you know, where if I'm not going to be in the title hunt, I'm not showing up, you know, because he's definitely had a career where he can fucking do that at this point, at like 100%. And instead he's going out there and looks like just fucking amazing. He was so smooth. You talk about guys that don't waste any movement. Like just, he's so graceful moving around and he's a huge fucking guy. But the thing I have written down that Randy, cause at first we were, you know, my kids and I talked about it. We were kind of confused as to why Randy was even there. Like it feels like it could have just been a Paul, Owens, you know, destructive match. And the thing I came up with was Randy was basically there to protect Logan, because a one-on-one match, like Owens, if they have to spend that time in the ring, just the two of them, like one of them's going to kill the other one because there's something between those two. And KO goes so fucking hard. So, you know, it wouldn't have felt like the great match that had the long build up and a good ending, just the two of them. I don't think in this moment. And Randy went out there and protected Logan and then set up the win for, I mean, to be honest, like he put them both over. KO and Orton, like I just don't know how much more you need to legitimize Logan Paul at this point.
So Logan is a star.
Yeah.
But it was Randy like having fun out there. We can both take back everything we said about him in the Elimination Chamber. where he
100%.
looked off and terrible.
Yeah.
But he was having fun. He was doing moves. He made the match because it would have been a clusterfuck.
Yeah, it would have.
Logan. And
it would have been a spot fest. Yep.
Yeah.
Jinx, you owe me a Coke.
Yeah.
And instead it wasn't. There was a fluidity to it, and it made sense, and it told a good story. Like I wanted this to steal the show tonight. And first of all, it was impossible. Like no one was going to steal the show tonight. We didn't know that until the end, but everybody went out to steal the show tonight. So it was just which one of them was stealing it that little bit more. But in the end, the show belonged to the headliners, 100%. Yeah. But this was worthy of stealing the show. It was good. If you would have had a main event that fell flat, I think this would have been the show stealer for sure. They went all out. They went absolutely all out. I loved it.
So the end came. The Prime Bottle gave Logan the brass knucks early on. Then the Prime Bottle.
But I have to stop. Hold on. I have to stop you there because I have a note for this one too. Another thing about the way Randy handled the match tonight, that and it might be insignificant to other people, but to me, it felt like just perfect Randy Orton storytelling. He chooses very directly, he doesn't think about it. There's not a moment. He just hands the fucking brass knuckles to the referee.
Yeah, the referee was like,
yeah. And I'm like, oh, dude, Orton's honorable. And this is Orton just closing out everything and just being the best version of Randy Orton. And I'm fucking here for it. And he handed him the brass knucks. And to move past that, then the Prime Bottle, some YouTuber, I didn't even write it down. Guess he's famous. Speed. Okay, sure. Great. And he was being mouthy. He acted all pumped up and angry and was dropping F-bombs toward Randy, and Randy was kind of blowing him off. And it was almost like you saw something kind of click. And I thought back to words that, Shawn Michaels talked about, Stone Cold talked about, even when Tyson was around, where it's you're not going to be from outside of what we do and come in here and disrespect us. You can come in here and we'll work with you, kind of Big Show didn't necessarily like the shit with Floyd Mayweather, stuff like that. And it was this dude was being really fucking aggressive. And when Orton kicked him, and then he walked over and ripped the fucking suit off of him, the sheer look on that kid's face was just okay, I didn't know this was going down. And then it was when he got him on the table, I was like, oh, he killed him. That kid's dead. He's dead.
And Randy, he meant to do it.
Oh, absolutely. He was fuck you. Get the fuck off my show. You don't come in here and talk to me like that. It was protection 100%. And it was obvious. He made it clear.
That was a Roddy Piper method.
Yep. Yeah. You're protecting the business. Don't. So
you had McAfee screaming, I show speed. Everybody knows him. I'm sure 12, 14-year-old kids know this kid.
I love Pat McAfee, but I over the course of the weekend, I got to the point where I was just this fucking guy, just shut up. Stop.
And that was the beauty of having the fourth man in the commentary, because you kind of drown him out a little bit.
Oh, Corey had some great lines tonight. Corey had me rolling tonight a couple different times. Corey nailed it. He was doing great.
Yeah, he was good. But this guy, he takes the RKO on the table and he's dead.
Dead. And table doesn't break.
What is this kid? Maybe 5'6", 130 pounds.
The aggression.
He was barking at Randy.
When Randy did the bark back, oh my God, dude.
Yeah, it was something special.
Oh, it really was. It really was. And it could have been awful. That, I mean, we got to talk, that's a big thing. Some of these spots that happen like this come off awful, just come off cheesy and gross. But I don't think, I mean, maybe people out there feel like it was, there might be people out there who have a completely different opinion. I thought it went over fucking perfect. And I thought, and I'm going to say this, the character that they've created in Paul is that guy, the over the top, I'm shoving this in your face, but you have no way of like not loving it because I'm going to be fucking awesome. And there isn't a single part of me that looks at that match like, yeah, was Randy awesome? Randy was peak. Was KO awesome? KO was fucking amazing as always. But so was Paul. Like
Paul's he's even better.
Yeah. I've never seen a dude come, and his brother in boxing, and I'm not saying they're not fake and they're not paid for too, the same fucking way, but like he looks like a real boxer. Like when you watch him train, when you see his body, the way, like he looks like a real boxer and he looks like a real wrestler, like professional wrestler, 100%. If you took his name away and took all the other shit away, I would believe that he was legit. Part of the problem with him is that he carries a lot of baggage, right? And like again, I'm going to cite my 16-year-olds again because, and that's kind of why I'm wearing this tonight. I'm gonna be honest, because Logan, during a time when PewDiePie was doing like the best shit he was doing and aging a little bit, and he's since, you know, gone into his normal life and everything. That's kind of when it's the same period when the Paul brothers were making their way up. And when Logan goes to Japan, and I'm not going to tell the story here. Some people know it. Some people don't. You may or may not know it. But there's just some shit that happened that was on the internet and that the dude should be in trouble for. And there, you know, he's kind of got some issues with some of his NFT things. And, you know, there's some lawsuits. There's some things that it's just like this dude might not necessarily like be a good spot for what he's like exposure he's getting, but a lot of people don't care. A lot of people have forgotten about it. A lot of it, you know, the old days of him being a YouTuber are long fucking gone. Like he's still a social media person, but he's not a YouTuber. He's not, you know, producing nothing but YouTube videos every week. And that's like the life. So I think a lot of it's gone, you know, it's just gone. It's just gone. And that's okay. Like we all need to move on from people's mistakes, right? I'm sure Vince really wishes we would do that. But at the same time, it just, if he didn't have the baggage, I love the character. I love the skill. The skill, like he has talent. He has it. He's quality. But there's just baggage for people like me that there's just baggage. So
as a wrestler, for having 12 matches or whatever he's had, this dude is incredible. You have people that go to wrestling school for 8 years and can't do what this dude does.
That is 1,000% true. So to end it all, that's what I'm going to say. He did great. All three of them were amazing. Fantastic match. What was the grade?
3.97.
Okay. I think that's
very fair. Logan frog splashed Owens for the win.
Monster frog splash too.
Samantha Irvin said, and new. I don't know if you caught that.
No, I didn't. I didn't catch that.
Yeah, she yelled out, and new U.S. champion, but he was the incumbent champion.
I'm gonna take a moment here because you brought her up. She deserves so much respect and kudos for how she did this weekend. Like she's amazing. Like she became a superstar this weekend too. In my opinion, like she became a superstar this weekend because with how many people you have watching WrestleMania and like the level that she performed at, like she's made. She
gets a lot of hate because she's a female.
Oh, fuck that.
World. No, really, she does.
Oh, that sucks.
It's
not fair, dude, because there are so many dudes that can't do I mean, she is amazing.
So we'll get to it at the end.
Okay.
About her butt.
About her butt?
No.
We don't do that here, people.
I don't know. Did you see the video of her doing the Razor Ramon song at Wale Mania over the
No,
weekend?
no.
She's belting out lyrics, and then she starts playing a flute, and it's the do 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 on the flute. Like,
Oh, I gotta check that out.
She's not going to be with WWE for long because she's so talented.
Oh,
So
really?
they should really yeah, she's going to be like a American Idol type or something like that.
No, they can pay her. Pay
You'll
her.
see. She'll
Just
get a
pay
record
her.
deal.
Just pay her.
She'll get a record deal. So we have a short break, 8 minutes of commercials, which if you're paying for a pay-per-view, it's unacceptable.
Well, but back in those days, they didn't do shit like that. They would have like their sponsor commercials, but they wouldn't have, like the sheer minutes of commercials. They would show the stadium, they would show fans, they would show backstage. And I really wish they would. Yeah, I really wish they would get back to some of that. But again, it was WrestleMania, so I just.
This is sold as a pay-per-view. So if you buy that pay-per-view, are you still getting?
I hope not. I really fucking hope not. Yeah, because if you're paying for it, and we're paying for it too. I mean, let's not bullshit ourselves. Like, we're still paying for it, right? But like, if you're paying the premium like $64.99 for an actual pay-per-view, and you still have to hear about Wheatley tasting so good, I drink it neatly 100 times fucking night. I was gonna sing it, but I decided I don't even want to try it out, like my voice wise. But dude, I mean, if you're hearing that every 15 fucking minutes, non-fucking stop for both nights, and you paid $65 for it, I'd probably be a little pissed.
So, after this 8-minute break, we go back and we see like a King Tut thing in the screen, and there's Bayley. She did not come out to Paramore Shimmer like was supposedly announced on, which was kind of sad. But she has a new look. She had blue stripe in her hair. She had
shaved the side of her head.
Yeah, she had shorts on that were.
She had pants on that then had like trunks, like to make it look like. I mean, like, again, spoken from the mouth of a 16-year-old, Bayley has always had questionable fashion sense. So
you could see all the tattoos on her legs. I didn't know that she had them.
Yeah, you could see tattoo like through the mesh. You could see all the tattoos.
Yeah. But it was a different look. They were carrying her out at the beginning of the entrance, and then they put her down probably because they couldn't get past that. Yeah. That donkey she's carrying back there. But no, she looked nice.
She looked like she was trying to be a crossover of the mean Bayley and the old school Bayley. And I mean, the top was definitely like old school Bayley, like the old school cut. And she looked good. This match was a lot better than I thought it was going to be, to be honest.
Really? I thought it would be. I thought it was going to be a banger.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, there's just, you never know what kind of energy is going to build with these with Bayley and Io. Like, they had the personal thing, same as the AJ, LA Knight thing, but this was a championship match, so personal is kind of like the name of the game, right?
Yeah.
But I mean, Io is so overlooked, dude. And she is so good. She is so fast, so quick. She's tiny though. Yeah, she is. And you could like, they can only do so much with it. And she had a decent run. And the one thing I do want to say about this match, like, just before we go on through it, is that I think Io did a great job tonight making Bayley look like an absolute hero. Like just,
Yeah.
and I'm not saying Bailey didn't do that on her own, but Io was a big part of the match, obviously. And
I think Bailey got hurt.
do
legit.
you really? The knee, you think she hurt her knee for real?
I think so.
You know, yeah, it may have happened because she definitely was wincing. I don't know which one it was.
It was early.
Yeah, but there was a moment in the corner a little bit later where, like, when she grabbed it and rolled towards the turnbuckle, the camera was right on her and she looked in legitimate pain and she was saying fuck. So like I think you might be onto something. She didn't look bad. She went over really well. I thought Bailey did a great job tonight, and
it was a really good match.
Yeah. The crowd was into it. Crowd was into it.
The whole match, they were screaming.
They were singing Bailey's song. Yeah, the whole time. It got quiet a couple times, but
this was an 18-minute match. They sang it the whole time.
Heroes finish. Like it was a big everything in this one. I thought it was great. I
like the fact that Damage Control comes out with Io, but they stay back.
I loved that. Absolutely loved it. Especially after they got their shit rocked last night.
Yeah,
like they don't deserve to be there.
Out, so are we going to see the other three come out?
Mm-hmm.
But it was just Bailey and Io. There was a couple Bailey to bellies, which she hasn't done for a while.
Mm-hmm.
The babyface finisher.
Mm-hmm.
She drops the big elbow, and
no bounce on that elbow either.
No, it was
when she hit the mat, there was no bounce, none whatsoever. Yeah, Io ate it. Io ate all of it.
What is it? The rose clip, the rose guard, whatever the finish was.
By the way, that first time when she went for it the first time and Io did the reversal and popped up and went, dude, that was awesome. That was so awesome.
It is such a good match.
Yeah.
It's not Bailey Sasha because nothing can be Bailey Sasha.
No.
But it was really good.
So it was better than the women's championship match last night.
Yes.
Like of the two championship matches, as much as I love Rhea Ripley, like tonight's match was better. Tonight's match was way better.
Not way better.
I'm gonna go with way better. Like it was clean. It was just really well done. And again, the crowd buying Bailey, like they want Bailey to come back to the smiling, loving Bailey because yes, everybody wants that. They want the mean, the mean dark makeup bags under her eyes Bailey to go away. We want the nice Bailey back. And it looks like we're going to get her. So
we are 12 matches into WrestleMania.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the first time the crowd was electric for this match. Last night, you didn't hear anything. You could hear a pin drop in there. The crowd was building. They were building and building and building. Bailey gets the title back.
At this point, I have to tell you, I have it. Like after this match ended, okay, so we've got the finish. Bailey's got the title. This crowd's going nuts, right? I have it written down right here at the end of this match that the show, because we're going into the main event, right? So the show's about to wrap up. We're going into the main event. The show never let up. It never let up. This show was pedal to the metal. And yeah, you get a little bit of a breather match with LA Knight and AJ, but it's LA Knight and AJ, and they worked their asses off. So the crowd was in it.
They weren't loud though.
But you have to, dude, in a 4-hour show. We talked about the exhaustion last night.
Yeah.
They kind of built it in the middle a little bit better tonight, and they didn't lose the crowd. Thing about last night is they lost the crowd. The crowd never got lost tonight. Not once.
I saw like a wanted poster, and it was the Usos, and it said "Killing the Crowd at Mania." But like even the Logan, the three-way, the triple threat, the crowd was there, but they weren't there. Bailey match, they were
yes,
here.
Yep, I agree.
And they were building. They were waiting.
Yeah,
they were waiting. So we have a 5-minute break. Bailey had her moment. I thought they'd have given her a little bit more of a moment with the belt and the crowd, but they didn't. They went to commercial, and then the Philadelphia Eagles cheerleaders are in the ring.
Oh yeah, we get Snoop Dogg number 2.
Did you see the male cheerleader that was in there going wild?
No, I didn't.
Okay, he was in the middle.
Okay, so no, I didn't notice it.
You have to see it.
Okay,
it's something to see.
How did I miss that?
These eyes. So then they have Snoop Dogg.
Yeah.
And this is, I don't know if you caught this because it's quite funny.
Okay.
So he announces 72,755.
Okay.
With a total of 145,420. But the graphic says 145,298. So,
I didn't catch it.
Snoop Dogg did it
again. Fuck yeah, Snoop. Atta boy. Yeah. Dude, he was a great addition to the show tonight. I'm gonna be honest. I would have thought not, but both his moments I enjoyed, and he was in there dancing with the eagle. And they had the whole mat was bouncing and everybody's having a good time.
It was fun.
Yeah.
It was a fun little spot. And then 2 minutes later.
By the way, I think it's a bit of a power move. I'm just going to say that because it made me think. And, we got Sasha jumping ship and taking her payday over on the other side. And then they just go ahead and bring Snoop in for WrestleMania twice. And it's like, yeah, cool. Like we put you over with your family.
Cousin.
Yeah. But
he's a WWE Hall of Famer, so he's always
welcome. Still here. He's still here hanging out. Yeah. Where are you? You having fun tonight? Could have been you in that match.
When he was on commentary, this popped for me because you aren't going to know it, but Vanessa Hudgens was to the right of him.
Yep.
And she's married to former Pirates first round draft pick Cole Tucker.
Okay.
So Cole Tucker, 5-6 years ago, the Pirates drafted him, and he's at WrestleMania both nights. Shouldn't he be doing something else?
Pitching?
Well, he was a shortstop.
Okay.
Yeah,
my bad. So fuck. I was thinking somebody
else. It's another failed developmental prospect for the Pirates, but they go over all the stars that are at WrestleMania. George Kittle was there, Michael Che, they were the Saturday Night guys. McAfee goes crazy for T-Pain.
He did. There. He fucking sold out hard for T-Pain.
Oh my god. Real Pain! Who else?
Dude, the George Kittle thing was great because the crowd actually booed the shit out of him too. Yeah. It was awesome.
And they kept showing him during the Bailey match.
Yeah.
Big San Francisco 49ers gal she is.
Yeah. I mean they kept feeding the crowd. They just kept feeding the crowd, and I like it. Yeah. Feed them, get them ready.
And goddamn, were they ready? So, then we have a little bit of a video. Then they hit the music. Cody comes out from the ground wearing a skeleton head. And goddamn, if she wasn't right there to take it off,
in ring gear, which made me so excited. I was like, she's going to get involved in this match because interference is coming, right? It's coming. Now, I had no idea what was actually coming, but it was like, oh, Brandy's in ring gear. This is fucking awesome. And you had a little bit of an idea on what could happen with that, and I was buying it. I was like, I hadn't even thought about it, but
if that would have happened,
oh my god! Because where do you go with Cody now? I mean, Cody's at the absolute peak, right? Okay, yeah. we'll get there. But Brandy shows up in ring gear, takes the skeleton head. Go ahead.
She takes the skeleton head off, and right there, I'm like, there's no fucking way he's going down tonight. Once you see Brandy, and she got cheered. She didn't.
Oh, she did. Yeah,
they loved it.
Yeah.
So you're like, oh shit. So Cody has a 6-minute entrance, tons of pyro, and you're like, this is not last night. There's no fucking way.
No.
Then Roman comes out. What was the the orchestra.
Yeah. It was
Orchestra
from
was cool.
they said it was their all state, like the Pennsylvania
city.
like all state like orchestra for like high school or middle school, I don't know, but I
awesome.
don't know if they were actually playing it or whatever, but it looked really cool. And it actually, like, it was kind of a nice thing for Roman to do, like, instead of doing some big intimidating stupid thing, like it was kind of like a cool entrance. I enjoyed it, even for Roman. I don't necessarily, and I brought this up tonight during the show, and I got pushback from it from my kids actually, but like I'm not a big fan of Roman essentially taking Undertaker's like walk to the ring. Like he does the same pace, and he does the same like spots where he waits at the end, and then he waits for a certain point in his music, takes the 90 degree or the 45 degree angle turn, gets to the steps, does his thing at the steps, walks up the steps, takes his time getting down. Like it's Undertaker's entrance, just minus the hat removal. Like, and I mean, I get it. I do.
It's heel Roman though.
Yeah.
He didn't do that when he was a babyface.
No, I know. But, it's a nod to what made him a heel. I mean, and I think that's the way my kid kind of explained it to me, which sounds weird to say, but he's like, look, that's what made him a heel. Like when he beat Undertaker that next night, when he showed up to Raw, they didn't let him talk, and like they booed him out of the building. And I can't imagine that he wanted that out. Like he probably didn't see his career going that way at that moment in time, but it's been a blessing because he's been on a Cena type run. He went on like a even better than Cena, like a Hogan run, right? He beat out Hogan for amount of time. So he went on a Hogan run.
No, he hasn't continuously. No.
Okay.
I think that would be at SummerSlam.
Okay. Well, they were teasing it, so maybe, yeah. But he went on a run that was unmatched in the modern era, blah, blah, blah. But he did it as a heel because, like, and he had to learn how to be a heel at the time because he wasn't. And he's perfect at it now. And the entrance feels fucking great. And the entrances took forever. Oh, my God. They took forever.
7 minutes.
So they were both about 7 minutes. And then the introductions were even more intense, like.
So the new thing with the graphics.
Yeah.
It says Challenger and then flips the Cody. Champion has the belt.
Yep.
Great touch.
I love it. At first I was weirded out by it because it just said, like, it was in the first match of the night when I noticed it. And for Drew, it just said Challenger, and I was like, what, did they forget to put his name? Like they just put, but then it flipped, and I was like, oh, okay, okay, I'm in on this.
Different colors for each belt. So you have the introductions. They're side by side. The bell rings, and immediately it starts off as Hogan and Rock from WrestleMania 18.
And by the way, they did the drone shots tonight again.
Yes,
when they did the introduction,
you could see them flying too.
And yesterday when I brought that up last night about how they did it for the first one, and it just didn't like hit on the other matches, but tonight they did it, and it looked fucking great. It looked fucking great.
Yeah, it and like we said, it was the Vince era last night, and tonight it's complete fresh look.
Yes.
Production wise, everything.
Yeah.
Bucky Beaver's face is off. Another thing I forgot, I didn't bring up. Montez Ford did the jump over the top, and they didn't cut away mid. They let it happen.
Yeah.
There was no cut away. So.
Yep. Dude, we're gonna get like I think some of the things, if we go back and rewatch now that like I think you're gonna see a lot that you didn't even notice, that you weren't even paying attention to, or that were subtle, and it's just gonna keep. I'm excited. I'm so fucking excited. We're okay. So we're in the ring. We got the announcements. We get an amazing, amazing introductions. By the way, I just want to fucking give kudos one more time. And then the face off, you're right. Like it was, we were back in time, right? Like,
And
one of
they're
the
looking
best,
sideways.
just the best match you can.
Oh,
Oh, okay. Right away, I'm gonna do this right away. The first thing I notice is when they're doing the look around the ring, like they go up into the audience and stuff, because the crowd's just going nuts, so they want to give you the whole experience, the long shot, you know, and you just see so many middle fingers in the air towards Roman, so many middle fingers. And then when they cut to the hard camera, within the first couple minutes, you see this whole row of people that have ECW shirts on. And like Roman gets his attention caught by him and he snaps his head over there, and they're just like, fuck you, just letting him have it. And Paul is like yelling at him. It was weird. I was like, is this a shoot? Or
you had the people that were back off the floor 15, 20 rows.
Mhm.
They're all up in the air
the whole time.
95% of the people cheering Cody.
Yep.
You have 5% with the one in the air.
Yep.
Like,
Again, it wasn't last night. Last night, people didn't know who, like, and we talked about it. People didn't know who to root for. We were confused. Like they tried to make you hate The Rock. They tried to make The Rock a bad guy, but there are too many people that just absolutely just love everything he does. And they're not going to, like, they weren't going to hate him. So it was like a 50-50 crowd last night that was really confused with what was going on. Kind of like us. Tonight, that was not the fucking case.
And let me go back a little bit.
Yeah, go right ahead, because I could talk about this forever.
Cody gets the extended entrance,
Mm-hmm.
and he's got the Money in the Bank 11 Punk entrance, where he's walking around getting the people back up.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, fuck, this is going to be special.
Yeah.
It was. And Cody, facially, you couldn't tell if he was crying or if he had job face. He did a great job with that. The face.
It was so much more intense. And Roman was too. Roman was too.
Yeah.
Roman was too. He had an aggression on his face. And he
was shit talking.
He was shit. I was just going to get to that. The cheap heat that he got, absolute easiest heat in the world by just putting a table back under the ring. Just that's all it took. And he's talking shit while he's doing it. He's like, we're not doing that. That ain't happening. And I'm like, dude, this is fucking phenomenal. Now, when Cody lifted it up and I texted you right away, I was like, I wonder if somebody's under the ring, because you saw a hand move back.
Yeah.
At that moment, I figured it was Solo. Like, but I don't know. I think in the end it was Jimmy. It may have been both of them. Who fucking knows? They could have all been under there. But
Cody comes out the entrance. He goes and gives a kiss to Mom. He gives the big hug to Luke Harper's son, which is cute.
Yeah.
They tugged on emotions right there. Then Cody gets back in the ring and he's getting the people, and the people are just eating it with a fucking spoon.
I was.
And yeah. And then Roman is just, they go eye to eye. Roman's just talking shit right in his face.
He was shit talking.
Slow. They're building slow,
but they weren't lacking. It wasn't like, it was methodical, which it needed to be for the time it was going to go, but it never felt like it was lacking energy or intensity. Like everything had a point. Yes.
You're selling hard.
Yep.
This is wrestling.
Peak entertainment, dude. Peak
you don't
entertainment.
Need 1,000 moves. They did 15.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You go to the other channel, they're going to do 1,000. They're not going to sell. They're going to pop back up.
This is 1998.
They do a move. They sell. It really had the Hogan Rock feel from WrestleMania 18. You look in the crowd; those people are popping, and then it just keeps building, and they're going a little bit faster. A little bit faster, and then Roman did the crossroads. Cody kicks out. Roman gets up and says, "That move can't beat anybody."
That was fucking awesome. When he's looking at Paul and he's just like, "That move sucks. That move never beats anybody. That move sucks." And I'm like, "Fuck yeah." There was something we missed that I wanted to go back to just a little bit. When they went out into the crowd, Roman fucking went like this.
That nerd.
Dude, that guy went, dude, he just about shit his pants. He almost fell over.
And
He
then
flinched
the
so hard.
guy that was row behind him was like, ah!
Dude, I was like, I said out loud in that moment, I was like, oh, 2 for flinching. And it's like, he should have just nudged him on the shoulder. Like, dude, I was like, that's the shit that's missing. That's been missing. Like, just simple things. And Roman, I buy Roman more tonight than I'm glad he dropped, but we're not there yet. But I bought Roman tonight, man. I've never bought Roman. I've hated Roman since the Shield. I'm gonna be completely honest. I've never liked him. I never thought I never thought he deserved the spot that he was in. But that's just me. That's me as a fan. Okay. Like, no offense to dude, but I bought him tonight, and I've never, ever, ever bought on him before. Not once. When he beat Undertaker, I was pissed. Tonight, I liked watching Roman Reigns for the first time in his career. I liked watching Roman Reigns. I kind of enjoyed when he was with Shield because he did some fun stuff, but I wasn't a fan of Shield. Only Seth Rollins. So, but and you know what? I don't know. Like,
that outside spot mattered so much too. You're going for the suplex. He's
it felt like
Cody off.
Yeah,
Cody blocked it twice.
Yes,
and then Cody turns it, and the crowd just went wild because they're like,
it was awesome. It was awesome, and it felt like that was supposed to be a spot last night that like maybe they missed, like maybe the Rock
the cutaways.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. So the 2 for flinching. That's what I wanted to. And then he does the move. He calls him a little bitch and like fucking tells him his move sucks. It's just like, oh my god, dude, fucking great.
And then once he hit that suplex on the outside on that beam or whatever it was, you see Cody's face. His eyes open wider, and it's like he's believing that he's in it now. And then they go back right to the ring. There wasn't really much outside stuff after that.
No, again, it's like they had to go do that spot. Like they needed to go do that spot. That was pretty much it. And I mean, it was a good spot. And it gave Roman a chance to fucking let a fan piss his pants from scaring him, like, and get some heat. He got more heat. Fucking fantastic.
And then they zoom in after that spot on Paul, and Paul's starting to get the worried face, and he's holding that title tighter, and then they go back in the ring, and they do the boo, boo,
It was so hot. So loud. And then when they finished that segment, and the whole crowd basically stands up. And just like standing ovation, because like I think there's enough. I mean, if we were standing in the crowd, the reason we'd be doing it was because we know that like that reaction that they're getting from the crowd is what they're doing. Like that's when we talk about the work in the bit, that's the work that they're there to do. That's the job that they're doing, right? Is having the crowd with them in those moments. And it's almost like you have a moment in the crowd where you're self-aware of like, oh fuck, they've got everybody in here. Like everyone's paying attention. Everyone is watching every fist and cheering or booing. And there was the standing ovation right after that. And then you just got all the chants. Then you just got this is awesome, the holy shit. At one point you got the you fucked up, which was, that happened earlier. The you fucked up happened when Randy went to go RKO KO the first time, and KO caught it and pushed it. Yeah. And the whole crowd's like, you fucked up. Okay, sorry. But they had the crowd knew they had them. And here's the thing, sitting at home watching it at this point, they had quite a few close false finishes at this point, right? And you're like, they still, like, there's been no rule breaking, there's been no interaction, like, and nobody's come in and interfered. Like, how much longer are we gonna get of this? I didn't care. I wanted more. And
so when this match started, I had to pee, and I was like, I can't miss a thing.
Yeah,
I'm not running back. And then I lost that sensation because I was so involved in the match. Like when you hear the old timers, you hear like Jim Cornette, like this would be good, but they didn't slow down here to sell this and just let the crowd just breathe for a little bit. You let it breathe and you bring them back. They had everything. They brought them back.
That whole crowd was in the palm of their hands, dude. Like
my
I
God.
guarantee you, as performers, I think Roman. If I'm Roman Reigns, like this is probably the match that goes down as like the best thing I've done.
The magnum opus, if you will.
I mean, because he had the crowd. And again, I'm not the only one that Roman's never had. You know what I'm saying? Like Roman hasn't, in my opinion, has never really controlled the crowd. The crowd just does what the fuck it wants to Roman because they don't really respect him. Yeah, I mean, but tonight he had him. It wasn't just Cody. Like Cody couldn't do it on his own. They were perfect. The two of them together were perfect. Their timing was amazing. You're absolutely right. And they had a match that if there had been no interference, if the rules, you know, if Rock and Roman lose last night and it's just one-on-one, it still would have been close to fucking perfect. Yeah. It still would have been close to perfect. And then you get they just take what is an amazing match and they say, you know what? Let's go up here. Let's just do this.
So what was the spot? Was it Cody spearing Roman?
Yes.
Through the barricade.
Yep.
He goes back into the ring, goes to do the move. And then this is 22 minutes in. There's Jimmy.
Yeah.
Jimmy comes in, hits him with the super kick.
Yep.
Cody kicks out.
Yeah.
The music hits, which was really cool.
So that's the wild thing, right? Because Jimmy comes in like all cloak and dagger and sneaks, and then Jay's music hits. Like he gets a whole fucking entrance. And I was like, well, that's actually kind of cool because it gets Jimmy's attention. Jimmy now fucking leaves the ring for those two to go do their thing instead of Jimmy really having to, or Jay having anything to do with the match. Like, and I liked that. I liked that a lot. He just got Jimmy out of there. So Jimmy got a spot and then Jimmy fucking leaves. And then they take it, dude, when they went off that fucking ramp, I was like, oh, it's going to be the big box with all the foam and the thing over it. No. It was tables. And I was like, oh,
and he came like cross-eyed.
Dude,
so they
hit hard on the floor too.
If they would have done that last night, it's a different story.
100%. If they would have had a match like that, just that moment, if they would have had a spot like that in their match, it's a different match.
Joke. So then that happens. Jimmy runs up the ramp. Jay spears Jimmy through the tables. They're gone.
Yeah, they're gone, which was awesome. So you bring them in and then they're gone. Like there's no more problem with that overbook right there, because again, you're stuffing a match, right? Roman and Cody have already had a 5-star match, in my opinion, like one-on-one, great match. And now you're going to stuff it, right? So to bring them in and then take them out right away. Perfect.
Masterpiece.
Fantastic. Well done.
Cody goes on offense. Cody goes for it. Solo pops in.
Solo. Okay.
That son of a gun.
This shit. Okay. I thought this would be the stupid part because Solo like fucked it up last year. Whatever. But the thing that happened, the seed that gets planted here, I think is like potentially a big deal, right? Because Solo comes out and Solo thinks this shit should be over. What are you doing? And he's giving Roman shit. Like he's on Roman. He's like, end it now.
Like, I know.
Yeah, end it now. And Roman's like, oh, I'm trying. I'm fucking down. And also it gives Roman a chance to look like vulnerable. Like, and he does. He looks like, dude, the storytelling here is fucking amazing. Roman looks vulnerable. He's getting called out by his family member. And I'm eating it up. I'm like, dude, like Solo's not in here yelling at fucking Cody. He's in here yelling at Roman.
Yeah. So then Roman hits Cody with the spear, and Solo hits him with the spike. Solo looks up. I don't know why. Solo's
either.
looking out there.
Mm-hmm.
1, 2, Cody kicks out. Solo comes back. John Cena's music hits. Wow. What are you doing?
Okay. I did not see that one coming. Did you?
Cena beat Solo at Crown Jewel. And Solo hasn't won since.
Okay.
He's 0-23 since.
Look,
I didn't see the next one coming.
Okay, but I didn't see John. But it makes sense. If it makes sense, that's fine. And I had usually I'd get kind of like irritated about that, but the way it got done, yes. Perfect. Yes. In the end, it ends up being absolutely fucking perfect. Mm-hmm. You went era to era to era, and you just gave everybody their flowers in this moment, and it was fucking fantastic. But I would not be true to the Maz and Sat cast if I did not take a moment to, we need a moment of silence for John Cena's hair. Okay. Just R.I.P. John. R.I.P. Shave that shit. Don't ever come out on live TV with that fucking bald patch you got back there again, dude. You have my entire house calling you John Senior Citizen. Okay? You gotta have the wisdom. You gotta have the wisdom. Holy shit. And it was but Cena, he looked fucking great.
Tremendous.
Just ready to go.
So he comes out, he throws the towel, he runs out, he neutralizes Solo.
Yep.
Solo goes to the outside. Cena's in the ring, staying away from Cody and Roman.
Mm-hmm.
The music hits again. The final boss. John shits himself.
Yeah.
He shits himself. The Rock comes out. The final boss.
He shit himself because he's sitting here thinking, oh my God, the last time we were in the ring together at WrestleMania, it did not go well.
That was the one I was at. 29. So The Rock takes his sweet ass time walking out, wearing sunglasses.
Mm-hmm.
He gets in the ring. John looks at him, peels his shirt off,
and then they do the whole Cena Rock thing, the whole Hogan Rock thing. They do the look both ways.
Yeah.
And it's actually kind of interesting to me when they do it, because the crowd really didn't have the reaction I thought they would have. No. It wasn't the let's go Cena sucks. I don't know how you have The Rock and Cena looking at each other and not have that chant going. The let's go Cena sucks. I mean, that was the whole fucking thing from that.
They
era.
weren't there to see that though. That was
I know.
Yeah,
but
they
still,
wanted Cody and Roman.
They did. And I mean, they really did. But I think they were fine with what comes next.
So The Rock then neutralizes Cena. Cena goes to the outside.
Mm-hmm.
And then the Shield hits.
Oh, yeah, I forgot it. See, that was forgettable.
Yeah, that was.
I didn't like it. And you didn't even see Seth come in.
No. So they're looking out hard camera side. And then all of a sudden, Seth comes in the back door. And immediately The Rock hits him with the chair. And
he's in and out of the ring before you even know he's in there. The music went on for 15 seconds, and then you see Seth, and then he's gone, and it's well, that was fucking what spot was that? That was bad. Know. But it was the only bad one. It was the only bad one.
And then Seth is in the corner down after the chair shot, and you hear dong. And the crowd goes fucking ape shit.
I went ape shit.
Then you hear dong again.
Hold on.
And the Undertaker is there.
Hold on. So the first dong hit, the first, bell fucking tolls, right? Now, like I've mentioned a couple times, it became forced family fun night tonight because I made sure my daughter was in there and my middle son. So all 6 of us, including both of our cats and our bunny, are in the living room for WrestleMania tonight. Okay. But we have it turned up really loud, and my wife is deaf in one ear, and she's got her deaf ear turned towards us, so she can't hear us, and it's too loud for her to really discern between the TV and what we're saying. So she's just playing cards on her phone for both nights, the entire show, just playing cards on her phone, just trying to zone out, paying attention to us. She fed us, made us food, shit like that. When that first bell tolled, she fucking put her phone down for the first time in 8 hours of watching WrestleMania. It went down instantly, and she had the biggest fucking grin on her face. And she even commented on it before we started the show. She's like, I put my phone down as soon as I heard Undertaker's bell. And I was like, I know, I fucking saw it. But that's what that man brings. And he didn't have to do a goddamn thing. Bells ring twice, lights go out. He's standing there looking like a fucking 80-year-old man, still tall as shit. He looks thin.
Yeah.
And he choke slams the shit out of the Rock.
Well, I wouldn't go that far.
I know.
He maybe got him like 5/8 of the way out.
Well, the Rock's not doing himself any favors.
No,
we had that conversation last night. Yeah. Like, let's not, it wasn't Taker's fault.
No. So then the Rock hits the mat. You hear another dong. The lights go out. The lights,
and then everybody's out of the ring.
Everybody's gone,
except for Seth. Like, and
Seth's
again,
hurt.
Yeah, Seth's hurt. He's hurt. He couldn't get out of the fucking ring fast enough.
The lights come back on. They're there. The Mama Rhodes' belts in the ring.
Mm-hmm.
And they both open their eyes and they're like, oh, it's just us again.
Mm-hmm.
And then boom, Cody hits him 3 times with the crossroads. 1, 2, 3. Babies are in the air.
Dude, can I the first one was really good. When he lifted him up for the second one, I was like, oh shit. Oh, like you just fucking knew. And when he had to struggle with the third one, when he really had to lift Roman up off the fucking mat and he's like got his legs into it and he just had to earn it. It's like, this is over. Moment that this is it. And it was a beautiful finish. Like, they got to do the whole flourish. You knew there was going to be interference, and it never felt like it had a real impact on the match, which makes me even fucking happier, because these two men put on just a fucking amazing performance, and both of them, and the homage that they paid really didn't, the only person that really affected the match was Solo. And Jimmy did too, I guess. Yeah. But
nobody else touched either guy.
Yeah. But Solo, like, again, I don't think that was really about affecting the match for Cody. It was to start some shit with Roman, because now that Roman doesn't have the title, right? The bloodline has to go through its own thing, right? Like, that has to be there has to be something there. So we'll see where that goes. But they just did a good job of being like, we're going to bring these people out. We're going to have these great moments for fan service, but it's not like, it's just so everybody can be part of it. We can do this fantastic ending to this match. It definitely wasn't the ending to the show by any stretch of the imagination, but it was a great finish, and the crossroad, just great finish. Fantastic finish.
So then the 1, 2, 3, and then this is where Samantha Irvin gets her flowers, because her voice cracked like no other.
Mm-hmm.
It was a great announcement. It was special. And then all of a sudden, Brand slides right back into the ring.
Right back into the ring, dude. She was there almost fucking immediately. It was great.
It was great. So she gets the kiss. Then the guys all come out. They give him the superstar. It's your time.
Yeah.
Carrying him around the ring. It was Randy and Sammy.
I don't know if they were were they the first? I mean, I know
Jay
Randy.
And Sammy, maybe.
Yeah, because I know Randy got him up with Sammy the second time, which we're gonna get to that point because I have something to say there. But yeah, I don't know if it was, I think it was Jay the first time, but still he was getting the superstar treatment 100%.
Yeah, you had all the baby faces. It was Owens, Orton, LA Knight. They're all in the ring. Cody's getting the crowd. The crowd's going wild.
And then they give him a mic.
No. Then Mama comes in.
Oh, yeah.
And Brody Lee comes in.
Yeah.
And his sister comes in. Then he goes over, gets the mic, says, "There's two people that made this run possible." Fucking Bruce Pritchard.
That was so out of left field.
I know.
Did you see the look on CM? Hold on. Did you see the look on CM Punk's face when he said Bruce Pritchard? Because the camera was right on Punk, and the look on his face, he was like, "That's ballsy."
He says, "I know this guy doesn't want to be out here, but Triple H, come on out." And then Punk goes over, gives Cody the big hug. They pass the torch to Cody. Lion Bruce comes hobbling in, gets a big hug, tells Cody he deserved it. Then Paul comes in, gives him the hug, tells him stuff. Cody starts crying.
Hold on. Was that had he already gone out and shaken the hands of the announce crew though before he called Triple H out, or was that after
he got back?
Okay, because Michael Cole
was crying
fucking crying like a baby. And what he said on the air after that, when he was like, sometimes like you get these moments that are just so big. And I understand it coming from him. Like there's so much history. And I think one of the things you and I, because we've been the avids that we've been, like Cody, and I think that's what like the biggest hug, the longest hug up until the moment with Triple H was with Randy. And of course it is, right? Randy gave him a platform. Like Randy brought him up with
legacy.
Yeah, with DiBiase, who's nowhere to be found at this point, which is fine. He wanted to go live a life, right? Like have a family and shit. But like, I mean, like Randy being there felt fucking amazing. And like, that was great. So Triple H coming out, right? There was, and again, I have it down here. They were putting Triple H, putting Paul Levesque over at every turn. And I said it at the beginning of the show. Every time somebody had a moment, they put him over. That was the goal. And it makes you question the genuineness of it. But I believe, from somebody who's watched forever, who knows these people a little bit through how I know them, right? Like, I believe it. Right, like what Stephanie said earlier with why WrestleMania is so special, and we talked about this, last night when we were talking about going and stuff, is that the people like us that like can go there and feel fucking just amazing marking out because 70,000 people are around you marking the fuck out. That's what you're doing. And Triple H does Triple H is Triple H. Okay, so they put him over again. But this is the moment for me, okay? This is the moment where, like, I got the cynical fucking, like, I fucking loved the NWO back in the day fucking moment. And I'm like, ooh, Cody is on Randy's fucking shoulders and Triple H is right there. Just fucking do it. Just boom, right there. Right there. Now you've got the champion going up against the boss, right? But whatever. We're not going back to that because somebody else did that way too many times.
And I said, turn heel, Triple H. Turn heel.
Right. And we were all thinking it, man. It was because
we hadn't seen the logo yet.
Yeah.
They let this breathe. They let it went for 15 15, 20 minutes.
Yeah.
And then Triple H is on the outside and he says something to Cody, and Cody grabs the belt, puts it up, then the pyro goes off.
Yeah, I fucking at that moment, because I don't know. I mean, it was pretty clear, but like first they like Triple H said something to Punk, and then Punk and Triple H kind of ushered everybody out of the ring so that it was just the family, and then the family got out of the ring, and then Triple H grabbed him, and I was like, okay, so he just told them to wrap, like how to wrap it, where to go, blah blah blah, and and he did it perfectly, and yeah, they wrapped it right then and there, and more pyro.
Well,
how many times did the crowd go, whoa,
15,
like from the
20.
ending of the match to the fucking end of the show?
Well, then they had Seth, and they were carrying Seth out.
Yeah.
And Seth, he goes through the rope to say Seth, and Seth said, no, it's your fucking time now.
Yeah.
And then Cody gets out of the ring and goes right to Nick Khan, and Nick Khan says something to him, and then they go to black. Like,
yeah, I thought that was pretty interesting that they put Nick. I said Tony earlier. That's my bad. Sorry, Cons. But they put him right there in the corner to be there for Cody, and that, I mean, that's interesting. Like obviously the deal got made and everything else. I for the promos, to touch back on this, just Cody and the journey for those of us who watch other wrestling and that have actually followed him through Japan and everything else. Like, his story is insane, but at some point there had to be, a deal that was pretty
significant.
Exactly what this is. 2 Royal Rumbles in a row, 2 WrestleMania, like 3 WrestleMania main event matches in 2 years. And that's okay because Cody fucking earned that. And the story is so great with, his dad, and now you're going to bring Brandy back in and all this shit. But one of my favorite things was during the promos, like they're talking about Cody, and like the Young Bucks were in one of the promo shots.
Omega too.
Jericho and Omega. Yeah. And I was just like, dude, that's fucking fantastic, because usually they're so just hands off that shit. I mean, when AJ came, they didn't give him the props for what he was fucking doing in Japan, because that's another thing to forget, is that AJ was running the show. Like Omega didn't take over until AJ left.
And Devitt.
Like, just, yeah. Oh yeah. Fair enough. Yeah. Prince.
Yeah.
I never want to hear him called that again. Just stop it. Prince Pretty. Stop it. Wrong guy. I know. Go ahead.
But they let it breathe. It was completely different than anything else that they've ever done.
Mm-hmm.
Like even Daniel Bryan, they gave it like 3 to 5 minutes, and that was it.
No, they dropped the confetti and fucking moved on. They gave him a mic.
Yeah.
I was shocked. He
calls the boss out. Like,
yeah, I know. But
wow. Like this is different.
Well, if you're gonna use somebody to turn the page on the era, it makes sense, because there are a few casualties of VKM when it comes to career wise. There are a few casualties, but I think some of them you're probably just like, they probably wouldn't have made it anyway, right? But Cody was done just so fucking dirty. And he went out and he made something of himself to be able to bring back to this organization and say, like, now we're going to put the faith in me. Like, Stardust is fucking dead. That shit's, which, dude, Stardust was awesome. Like, that's the thing about Cody. Even Stardust was over.
The grocery bag.
And the
mask.
Oh, it was like all that shit was over. Cody was always over. Yeah. But he was buried. He was too small. He was too skinny. He had to go bulk up, and he did. And he looks threatening.
For him, he bet on himself.
He did.
The way he left,
mm-hmm.
and then he made the lists.
Mm-hmm.
and he posted them on Twitter,
Mm-hmm.
and like he's just like he came back and he's just the great guy.
And here's
sent
the thing.
Kids to WrestleMania, the class that watches wrestling.
So, you know, it's wrestling, it's professional wrestling. So like we're being honest about it here, but like, you know, being honest about it, but like it was over, right? Like there's part of me that really felt by the time we got to WrestleMania 30 that the yes movement was already kind of stale, and it felt forced. When we did Kofi Mania, it didn't go over, you know. Like there are these moments that don't necessarily work, but this story arc and it's not just them putting their faith in Cody. It's not just the other performers putting their faith in Cody. It's the crowd being in on Cody, being like, dude, we get it. And we want this. And just, it'll die because it always does. You can't be on the top and loved all the time. Like but for this moment, I can't remember. I mean, there have been other great WrestleMania moments, but I don't feel that anything has felt this impactful. Like this feels like impactful to the WWE as a statement. And I mean, you brought back somebody that left, and I know Punk got brought back and he left. That's a different story. Punk was a main eventer, right?
Yeah.
Like Cody left because they wouldn't.
He was mid-card.
They shit on him. Yeah, like he was a gimmick. Like he was always just a gimmick.
I think you have to credit the fans.
I do too.
Because when he came back 2 years ago, it was in Dallas.
Mm-hmm.
He came back and it's Cody Rhodes.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and they exploded.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think the thing that turned the tide for Cody was the bad luck when he tore the pec, and then he had that match with Seth in the cage, and then you're like, this fucking guy.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
It's not one thing. It's the whole.
Exactly. It's a confluence of the entire, and also if you don't have Roman, like if you don't have a mountain to climb that people want you to climb, right? Like, so it also, like Roman's just as much of a part of this as Cody just himself. And I don't think anybody else would have, like, it wouldn't have had the same impact, but Roman was the guy for so long, and you want to see him drop, but Cody had to earn it. If you give it to him last year, by this WrestleMania, he might not have been like on the top still. A year can make a huge difference, but after you do it, just boom, boom, and you go through the whole thing and you tell the story the way you did, I mean, he's not going anywhere now. Like, and again, it, you know, championship reigns, booking, all that shit plays into it. I understand that, but this WrestleMania moment, it was a legit, it wasn't a fabricated, you know, media moment. It was amazing, and everything about it played out so well. And I legitimately believe that there is a new era, like that we are in a new era. Whereas after last night, again, now in retrospect, we're seeing it a little bit differently. But after last night, I was like, what the fuck is this? Like, there's nothing new about this. There's some tiny little cool elements, but the same old shit.
The fact that Brandy is over as a babyface tells you all you need to know, because
that's not going to last. That is not going to last. And
well, if she stays away, it will last.
What are the odds of that? Because here's the thing. Hold on. Here's the thing. And this is important in my opinion. You know, we talk about Cody bet on himself, but Cody had Brandy, and Brandy bet on him too. And they like, I mean, that's a real thing, right? Like, I know, like, again, they're a married couple, and they're for real, and they bet on each other together to make that work. It wasn't just him, and she had a huge part in it. And when it came to building up heat, oh my God, did she fucking build heat? So who knows? Like that, I mean, they might keep her away. They could keep her away for a year and a half. Doesn't matter. When they bring her in, they can flip it real quick because she'll do it. She'll do it.
Yeah. The other thing to give credit to tonight that I don't think we can undersell is Cody didn't win it in AEW. So people were hungry for Cody to get it. So I think you have both Colts coming together to cheer for Cody and makes it that much more.
Yeah, I think so too.
Cody
I really do.
Cody is the business. He always is dressed like a champion. He carries himself like a champion. He does the best that he can do for people. And then you got the following. It wasn't manufactured. It was real. Like,
yeah. He built it from the ground. Again, I'm one of them. Like I am 100% one of them. I harp on Stardust because to me, the fact that, you know, the gorgeous or handsome Cody or whatever it was when he wore the mask because he broke his nose or dashing. Yeah. Like whatever. That was okay. He did the whole creep thing and like he had nothing wrong with his face, which was like what made it so great. But like Stardust, like he got shit on because of what his brother had done, which Dustin is phenomenal, way underrated as an entertainer. And was great. He was business, dude. He had a shitty gimmick, but he was business. And what's that?
Many
shitty gimmicks. Exactly. Right.
Evan and WCW and all that shit.
So he paid dues. He built organically. He had shitty gimmicks where he still had the crowd with him. I mean, like people liked him. People liked him as Stardust. He was over. There was a time where he was over legitimately. It's insane when you look at it now. And to go and to build an audience somewhere else and to take over. I mean, there was a point where he was the business. Like you just said, he was the business outside of WWE. He was so much a part of like New Japan Pro and what they did with what is now AEW, right? Just so much of it, and you'll never be able to say enough. And I think he's got people that will support him for the rest of his career, no matter what. Like, no matter where the story takes him, no matter what he does, I think he's just like, this was just such a cementing moment. And it's so great because you know how much people love his dad. Like people that are in the business right now that absolutely owe their career to his father. And that you don't like in a small, close-knit thing like WWE, that goes a really long way. And it's, dude, this Mania turned out fucking amazing. It almost feels like last night didn't happen though. Right? Like I don't remember anything that happened last night. I have my notes right here, but I'd have to go look.
You don't want to talk about it.
Exactly. But if you're going to do
Bailey,
it, how can you just
Bailey got her Dusty Flowers the match before Cody
I know.
did.
And that's for real. Like that was something.
Yeah.
But how do you justify the 2-night WrestleMania when, like, going forward? Okay, so we've already touched on how maybe we feel like potentially it was a little purposeful to move from, like, to do build the bridge, right, from the old era to the new era in between the two shows. But going forward, how do you justify the 2-night WrestleMania when you have a forgettable night and a good night? How do you? Yeah, I mean, fine.
That's the only way. I mean, you have to create more talent.
Who's gonna watch Saturday? Like if you're going to do it that
they
way,
don't announce it till the week of. So
that's fair.
I mean, the things that you have to look forward to now is probably Braun Breaker. You have that that story.
Yep.
Roxanne Perez is going to be up there.
I think Solo might fucking do something. I think Solo might get a push.
Yeah, I mean, you're probably SummerSlam. I don't think The Rock is going to get any more movies. So you might have The Rock and Roman. I mean, there's 95 different ways that they could go.
Yeah. Tomorrow will be exciting, like as always. As always,
could change back.
Some things are going to change. Things are going to change tomorrow. Like there are things where something, it's just how Raw works the night after WrestleMania. And I tell you what, if you want to, the crowd tomorrow it's a Philly crowd.
It's indoors.
It's a Philly crowd.
Intimate.
Tomorrow might be the most entertaining Raw like in 10 years.
Especially if Punk's back, he didn't have the brace on when he went out there.
I know.
And he was giving high fives on that arm.
I know. He didn't have the brace on the whole pre-show either. So when I saw him have it when he came down for his entrance, I was like, he didn't have that on. And then he rips it off and just fucking hits Drew right in the face with it. It was awesome.
So encapsulating something from Dusty to tonight is we making major motion pictures, baby.
Fuck yeah, dude. Tonight was cinematic as shit.
So it was, I think it was as much for Dusty as it was for Cody.
That's fine.
And I don't think that's a far off assessment, but the special, you have Roman who's still going through the leukemia battle. He said he's going to have that for years, for the rest of his life. So, I mean, you have to give him his due too.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it was just, I don't understand how you go from that bad. You know what? If Vince was in charge, they would have had fucking Damian Priest cash in on Cody just because Vince would be a dick like that.
Probably. I don't see why they wouldn't. Like, I mean, it makes total sense just to ruin the fucking moment. Like, because that's the type of shit we got. And there's part of like how that's how that felt last night, like with The Rock. Like it really felt like the same shit. Like you're ruining a moment. Like you're making this ridiculous. Like it's not fun. I'm not enjoying watching what's happening happen anymore. And we were kind of pissed last night. We both were. We were both like, how are we going to say nice things about this? I don't want to trash the talent, but it was, and then, and I went to bed just like, man, we both kind of like, and I thought about it today. I was like, we both kind of trashed it a little bit. We both kind of trashed it. And, tonight there was none of it. Everything that happened felt good, was entertaining, felt right, felt like what you want to see. Some of it, even the surprises, felt like I didn't know that I wanted to see John Cena tonight. But when John Cena's music hit, I was so fucking excited to see John Cena tonight. Like, honestly, I was excited. I was like, this is fucking awesome, right? I would have never thought Undertaker would show up. Never in a million years would I have thought they'd get Undertaker out there. And I have written down on my first, or on this page right here, by the time we got to the main event, I said there were no legends again. Like no legit legends, right? Like we talked about that last night, how like, we've had those WrestleMania moments where you have The Rock, Shawn, or Steve Austin and Hogan in the ring, Silverdome, but like Superdome. He said Superdome, right? No, he said Silverdome. He was in the Superdome, right? I had it right. Shouldn't have doubted myself. Anyway, and we didn't get any of that shit. We didn't get any of it, and I wrote it down. Like at that moment, I was like, no legends again tonight. And then in the end, we get them, but it was meaningful. It was, it was those WrestleManias. It was the eras. And
it was the torch being passed.
Yes, from all of them, from all the way down, because Taker started his streak at WrestleMania 9 or 8?
7.
Seven?
Against,
Okay.
Snuka.
Yeah, that was it started at the one that was in Caesar's Palace, right?
Oh, no, LA.
Okay.
They were in the Coliseum, but they went to the other one because ticket sales were down. It was Hogan and Slaughter.
Okay. For some reason, I thought he started with what's his name? The big dude that wore like
Giant
the
Gonzalez.
animal suit. Yeah, Giant Gonzalez at fucking Caesars.
And he had Jake at WrestleMania 8.
Okay. So he started his
Okay.
So he started his streak before 10. So 10, he was in his streak.
Yeah, the only other person they could have had was Hogan, and Hogan can't do nothing.
Yeah, but I wouldn't even. Yeah, and we didn't need Hogan.
Right.
Okay, WrestleMania 1 would have been great. We didn't need Hogan, especially New Era. We don't need Hogan because all that's gonna do is bring up old shit, right?
Yeah.
So it was. Oh my god, dude, I'm such a fucking mark, bro. But it was perfect. I loved it, and they were the perfect stars. You basically had the Mount Rushmore out there. If you really want to, you can make an argument that those three guys are Mount Rushmore, with a fourth to be determined.
Austin.
I always put Austin on mine, to be honest. Yeah. I actually always put Austin on it, and I don't put The Rock, if I'm being honest.
Because The Rock was only there for 4 years.
Yeah, and Austin carried that. I mean, his stretch is weird too, man. That's a whole. We can. Hey, that's what we need to do our next bracket on. That'll be fucking intense.
You're cooking, dude.
I know.
But yeah, I mean, you're going 33 years of WrestleMania with those three guys.
Yep.
And those are probably the most. I mean, you can maybe say Shawn, but those are the big three.
Shawn can't get back out there either.
Well, Shawn's not Shawn anymore.
No.
So kudos to everybody involved.
Yeah,
even
absolutely.
Bruce Pritchard, for fuck's sake.
Yeah, I guess we owe him, right? According to Cody, we owe him this, for this moment. Which fine, whatever. I think probably not my guy. I'm gonna think in this.
Could you imagine if he'd have called John Laurinaitis out there?
Go shut the fuck up. I said that last night, right? Like about Johnny Ace being in the back, being like, "Hey, we got to make this happen." Yeah, that would have been terrible. That just no. Yeah. It wraps up 40 years of WrestleMania pretty fucking wildly.
It does.
I don't think that there would have been a better way for them to end what is, another era, another decade of WrestleMania. It was perfect. It was fucking perfect.
The only thing other that could have happened is if Nia interfered and Brandy hits her with the spear.
Yeah. I mean, but that's that fan that fan booking right there. When you texted me that I would have liked to have seen it. The thing is, Nia, I want Nia to jump on the bandwagon of being part of the family more. Like I want her to
and
do
you might
that.
see that because they announced Jacob Fatu signed today, and they have Tama Tonga, so that could be tomorrow.
There you go. So, I mean, I think it makes it, you expand the bloodline a little bit, make it a little bit bigger, make it a little bit more of a thing. Roman can run ruckshot on, he can just be the leader. Like, give him some time away. Like, I know Roman didn't exactly over defend his title or anything, but dude, that's a fucking run. And he had to be there. He had to do shit. He's had to work nonstop. You can give him a fucking breather on this one.
Yeah. And then maybe you build up the bloodline, and then maybe you have Cody's army in War Games this year.
That'd be cool as shit.
Yeah.
You know what I would like to, I'm going to tell you what I would like to see. If I ever want to see The Rock have another match, which I don't, But if I ever wanted to see The Rock have another match, I would want it to be against Roman just to fucking end that shit and Roman beat the fuck out of him. I think that'd be awesome. And it could be that thing where Roman has to step away for a little bit. The Rock kind of runs the bloodline. Obviously, he doesn't have to be at every show, but he's going to be in the building because he works with them. He doesn't work for them, but he can be in the building. He can always be there. And if he could be the leader for a while and always with the tribal chiefs, leeway or whatever, but then you have factions or something, there's a lot there with the people that they have, to be honest.
And then you have Punk's back, so maybe Paul leaves and goes back to Punk, or you have so many outlets of ways you can go.
Punk and Drew have some business to attend to.
They do. And
I am here for it.
Yeah.
CM Punk and Drew McIntyre, SummerSlam.
And you have Gunther that's going to be coming chasing.
I don't know what Gunther's like. Is he going to chase? You think he's going to chase his title back? I mean, I don't know.
Not his.
No.
Maybe he goes for Cody. Because Cody can sell.
He should go for fucking Damian Priest. Dude, ooh. Gunther and Damian Priest? That's like, and then you're back to booking like the future, the stars of the future,
Damian Priest is
I know, I understand. Like, and Gunther's not exactly young either, but there's still guys that haven't main evented yet that I don't think Damian's ever going to main event, but Gunther, and then there are so many options, bro. Yeah. And they left so much open. Bayley has her title now. And that's interesting to see who's going to chase her, because I don't think Damage Control is going to have anything to do with anything anymore. I think they're pretty much over, but, pretty much dead. I shouldn't say over, but Bayley, who's going to chase Bayley?
Charlotte.
Okay. I don't, if she was, but she was waiting in the back for Rhea.
Yeah. We got to wait and see. I don't want to see Charlotte, but
I don't want to see.
And Charlotte. Then we have Andrade is going to be a star.
I think Andrade's got a little bit of a move to make. Yeah. I'd like to. I just bit my tongue. I'd like to see him go after Sammy. I'd like to see Sammy and Andrade work together a little bit. I think that would be fucking fire.
You're going to have Jade come and chase somebody.
Probably.
You're going to have, LA Knight's going to get a run here.
Mm-hmm. I think Jade and Bianca should chase a tag belt.
You could. If Damage Control's dead, so
yeah, I think Jade and Bianca would be, and it would be a good way for Jade to get like some matches under her belt,
Yeah.
But her and Bianca would be kind of a fucking monster tag team.
It's exciting again.
It is. I'm pumped, dude. I'm watching Raw live for the first time, and I can't tell you how long. I usually just catch Raw on Hulu, but I'm gonna be watching Raw live tomorrow because how the fuck could you not? How the fuck could you not?
Awesome.
Yeah. So this was fantastic, bro. I had a really good time. Paying attention in a way that I haven't in a while. In my house, we marked out so many fucking times this Mania, even for how last night was overall disappointing, in my opinion, I still had a lot of fun with it. I enjoyed the show overall, but tonight, I always feel like the thing about WrestleMania is it's like the draft. It's like the first round of the draft, where the day after, obviously there's more draft on the second day, but or after the draft entirely. Okay. There's always that overreaction to what just happened. right? Like, so you look at it and it's like, oh my God, like this is the biggest this was the best WrestleMania ever.
Until next year.
Yeah. And I'm not gonna I'm gonna sit on this one, but I'll tell you what, tonight's show, I will happily go back and watch tonight's show. And there are many Manias that I have watched too many times. And I will definitely watch this one again. Like the second night, I will watch again because it was amazing. And in closing for me, I'm just going to do what everybody else did tonight and last night and the night before and the night before. Paul Levesque, the new era is here. Thank you for everything you've done and everything you're doing. Let's keep fucking going, because I never thought I would be this excited about it again. The product ever. And I am. So let's fucking go.
Let Paul cook. That's all we can say.
Fuck yeah. Let's
Awesome.
do it. Awesome.
Bravo, guys. Thank you. And we will be back next week because we're going to cover the NHL playoffs.
Hell yeah.
Have a great night, everybody.
Thank you.
Talk guys out.
Later.
Maybe. Later.